傲风 M6 旗舰评论，按摩遮盖小弹腰2.0。3D 云朵枕，空调座舱，立体机械臂。
biu 是我运营的产品，我想通过它和更多不懂分寸的人一起探索世界的边界。正是这些不懂分寸的人，也许他们不被理解、任性、固执，甚至疯狂。
就是我。
但如果没人去打破边界，谁又能玩透世界呢？
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”。 这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
Casting the House Galactic Battle. We were casting all day, and oh my god, we're just diving right in. Huh. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Wayne on his phone cam. And in the top right, we have stats for Twisted Fairy. Getting up first here tonight, we have Starlight Twinkle versus Twisted Fairy, and this is a spicy match to kick things off. Fun fact, earlier today we casted ESL Open Cup Americas, and Wayne was competing, and he went up against Hero. And they went to the ace match. Wayne versus Hero did go to the ace match, did go the way of Hero at the end of the day, but Wayne did pose a threat, and I wouldn't believe that that could be a bit of a sign here that Wayne is in form, that Wayne is looking spicy in the ZVP matchup. The problem is that we are forcing a certain map, Dynasty. Dynasty is map number 1. The players have no say in it. The players have no say in what map 1 is. We decide. When I say we, really, I mean the admins. The WTL admins decide the maps ahead of time. Well, I say they decide the maps ahead of time. They decide the starting map after the players have been chosen. So basically, the teams, they pick the lineup of players, and then bam, the admins assign maps to those players, or to that lineup, to that roster. So as a result, we're leading into Dynasty. Dynasty known for being vetoed time and time again, especially in this matchup. And Wayne is going for the goal base. Bold move. Bold move. Now, the reason why we see this map ultimate vetoed is because in this matchup, I get from Zerg versus Protoss, the Protoss player is free to expand. The Zerg player isn't when it comes to the goal base. The reason for this is because the goal base has a mineral line that is very exposed and can be punished with adepts, with stalkers, with oracles, with void rays, with any range-based units. They can abuse that mineral line. It is difficult to actually take advantage and actually mine for that base, which is why whenever we see ZVP on Dynasty, usually it's an all-in. Usually we have an all-in where you take the gold on the other side and go into a roach all-in, or take your opponent's gold base and go for a roach all-in that way instead. Usually we have a hyper aggression here from Zerg players. Earlier today we casted Solar. Solar went for a different approach, did struggle with it, and yeah, I'm curious if Wayne is going to get away with this gold base. The reason why the Protoss can freely expand and take this base is because early on, Lings and Banelings can't really do much against this, as again, they're melee-based units, not range units. Once we get into Roaches, then Roach Ravager can try to punish the gold mineral line, but before that, we can't really. There we go. There's a Roach Warren. Okay, we're popping off. We have a really fast Roach Warren. That's what, like a 240, 235-ish Roach Warren timing from Wayne. As the Adept does arrive, does the 9 mining time. Brutal Hush Roach from Wayne. So Wayne is going for a Roach Rush. At the same time, Twilight Council opener from Stats. Stats is going for Glaive Adepts. Both players being hyper aggressive. Stats' goal is to punish the economy of Wayne. Wayne is to end the game. That's his goal. Let's go. Now, so far, the Roach Warren has not been scattered. Roach Warren is unscattered. Roaches are already on the way. But again, once again, we do deny mining time here. It's difficult for Wayne to really sustain his all-in here if he cannot mine from that gold base. There we go. He does go back to mining. Does get back into it. Is the feed on 720? It's a bit blurry for me. The feed is at 1080, but the feed is lower quality. Unfortunately, that's just how the feed is. that's the best feed you're getting, Pappy. Unfortunately, that's strange. For now, Lings are moving out. Lings are heading across the map, heading out towards that main. Adepts are in position. Adept's going to be able to hold on for the time being. More roaches are flooding across the map. Wayne committing to his all-in, and can we pull this off? And meanwhile, I believe Stats has yet to get eyes on the roaches or the all-in, but there we go. The roaches have been revealed. Stats is fully aware of what's going on, and how does Stats respond? As we're going to be busting through that wall. The Adept is going to be going down. No shield running behind this. No warp in either. No warp. We bust in. We bust into the main base. Adepts are across the map. Forced to recall Stats. He missed the army. He must have missed some roaches. Pylons are going down left and right. And Stats forced to pull the boys. Probes are falling here in the main base. 9, 10 workers already going down. We do have a lot of adepts. We can juggle our hearts out. The Immortal is on the way. That's already 16 probes going down, and we're not done. We are not done. 19 probes falling. Lings, they bust into the mineral line. They bust into the gold base. Adepts will shut down the roaches, but what about the economy? What about the probes? Aye. And that's going to be, did I say 19 earlier? 30. 30 probes going down. Again, Stats, he should have spotted the army. He should have seen it, but alas, he did react a little bit too late. And we will feed up those roaches. Now Stats is all in. Now the turns of table. Now suddenly Stats needs to end the game with this counterattack. He does have a lot of adepts. He does, he does have 1 immortal as well. He has 1 immortal, 1 sentry, 11 adepts. And Wayne, all we need to do is survive this. For the time being, sure, we can punish the gold base. There we go. We do force the drones away. Meanwhile, the Ling's looking for us around. We don't commit yet. We can see Stats taking it. So at this point, Wayne doesn't need the gold, not anymore. Wayne nodding over towards his natural. Adepts threatening a shade. And again, time working in Wayne's favor. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Wayne. He's going for the surround. He collapses on those adepts. The Biles connect. We barely do juggle back some of those adepts, but alas, only four survive. Only 4 make it out. The hatchery is going to go down, but again, the hatchery doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. We're going for another counterattack. We do have a sentry, though. There is a sentry to defend. Yeah, with that, we can force field the ramplings. They cannot bust in. Stats, he's clawing his way back into this economically. I mean, Stats, he is ahead with the goal base. The Miles! Ooh. 2 birds go down. Immortal drop coming in to shut down the Ravagers. That's getting caught out. And we do manage to catch 2 of those Ravagers. Not bad. 2 Ravagers did get picked off. But now it's even with 2 Ravagers, we can deny mining at the goal base. Meanwhile, Stats are breaking out. And again, don't underestimate the gold. Even though Stats got knocked down to, what was it, like 12 or so workers, because of that gold mineral line, he has a call back up. Leading another 2 probes. Once again, is able to mine. And Wayne hasn't been droning. Wayne is still very all in. 25 workers is all Wayne has. Still massing more Lings, more Ravagers. The economy now evening up. The economy actually getting in favor of stats. Here we go. He's still sharking around with that prism. Sharking around. Lings likewise. We do see stats pulling back. I do like this. If stats was out in the open, he would get surrounded and biled. That's the goal here, is to surround, lock down the army, then bile it down. Speaking of, knocking down the Cybercore. Cybercore's under fire. Yeah, it's gonna fall. We have 102 Lings. We do catch a Ravager. Two Lings looking to dive in. Once again, do we have another force field? Up! We do not. We do not have a force field. Juggling from stats looking good. Lings are going down the miles. Some of them graze the army. One immortal goes down. We're down to a singular immortal, but it looks like, can we hold on? Lings are running out of Lings. And we only have 4 Ravagers left. It looks like we're holding. It's still so close. Lings, they bust in! They bust into the gold! We're running out of minerals! Yeah, the wall is open. Lings, they bust on through. 12 probes go down. Honestly, if it wasn't for this, I would give the edge to stats. If it wasn't for this base going down. Overcharge is popped, barely keeping the base alive. Likewise, stats juggling his heart out. Lings, they go for the surrounding immortal. It gets surrounded! The immortal! Oh my god. It barely lives. The juggling is crazy. We barely retain those immortals. We force back the army. But stats, he's down to 1 base. Down to a singular base. Army supplies are quite similar to each other. We have 26 Lings, 0 Roaches, and 0 Ravagers. 4 Wayne, but then we got 5 Roaches in production. And these immortals are quite low. They're both in the red. They're both in the red. They have shields. They have micro potential with that prism. And we do have enough resources for a bit of a warp in here. Lings, we have to warp it defensively. Warping back at home. I'm pushing forward 1 Ravager. The immortal shields are triggered. Are going to be triggered here. Lings going in for the surround. File's not quite connecting. We can juggle back. Lings are being cleaned up. 1 immortal goes down. A massive pickoff. The files will graze the army as well. They graze the prism, and Wayne, he's holding. He's barely holding on. He shuts down the army. The final adept goes down. And I think Wayne's done it. It's close. It's still very close. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, as Worker's going to be transferring over. Only catching 1. And there it is. GG gets called. We have mining. We have an economy. Wayne takes game number 1. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very, very close game. Sorry, I'll turn down the volume a little bit. I do know it was a little bit too high. But GG, well played. Wayne will take the first game, but that was a close one. Again, the all-in was a risky one to go for. I do have to put the onus on stats a little bit. If you remember, when the all-in was moving out across the map, stats, the prism saw the roaches moving out. I don't think stats did. I don't think stats himself saw the roaches. I think he just assumed that the dots on the minimap were Lings, not roaches. So stats, because that he had a delayed reaction, a delayed response to the all-in, and he had that much less time to get ready for it. Wayne able to bust on through, able to get critical damage early on. Despite that, stats also was able to almost make a comeback as well. It still was a very close game there. But thankfully, Wayne did so much damage early on that he was able to use that to catapult himself into that win, into that lead. GG, well played. Wayne takes the lead. Let's go. I mentioned earlier today that, hey, Wayne went to the ace match against Hero, and maybe we can see a little bit as to why with a cheeky build on Dynasty. But now we're loading into Golden Aura. Can we make a 2-0, or can stats fight back? Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have Wayne. for Starlight Twinkle. In the top left, we do have stats for Twisted Fairy. Here we go. But yes, as someone was mentioning in the chat, the quality of the feed is a little bit worse on YouTube, unfortunately. That's all good. We make do. We make do, papi. As for now, it is going to be standard opener here. Looks like a hatch gas pool from Wayne. We're calming things down here on Golden Ore, at least initially. Just because the opener is standard doesn't mean we're not going for an all-in later on. And do so, as there we go, we force the unnatural. Natural stats in position to deny it. When it comes to stats himself, I know that stats has had, I wouldn't say a lackluster return, but a return that took a little bit to really get going. It wasn't until this year. It wasn't until post IEM Katowice where stats has been looking much more in form. I mean, he's been popping off in GSL, which is why Wayne bringing down stats in game 1 is impressive. It is an impressive feat here. Stats is looking better than he has in these past couple of years of returning from military. Stats is at his peak. Post-military, I mean. We'll see. We'll see if Stats can bring it back. He's gonna need to. Twisted Fairy, they've been struggling a little bit. Not gonna lie, they've been struggling a little bit in this season of WTL. No, Classic is an amazing player, but Classic needs the support of his team. He needs players like Stats, players like Keen to step it up. We'll see if they can. See if he can. For now, it is going to be an Adept opener. And our Adept on the way, we do confirm the base. Stargate as a follow-up, as our take of choice. Stargate for Stats. Should be for Oracles. We'll keep it on him to see if he goes into something like Void Race instead. We shall see. Stats does pull back for a moment. Does pull back. Going to be reinforcing with, I believe, yep, another Adept. There are some players that go Adept into Stalker, but Stats is going double Adept here to apply pressure to flex his micro and try and get some drone pickoffs. Some worker damage. Not committing yet, but you can see on the minimap the second Adept is making his way across the map to meet up with the first. And of course, 2 Adepts do one-shot drones. So we'll see what we can get done. We'll see if Wayne can defend. Stats tipping in. Does get 1 drone kill, forces out a Spore. Backs the hell up. Not a bad start. Then he gets a drone, backs up, will expand, take a 3rd base. And the Oracles are moving out. You can see as the Oracles move out, Lings are moving in. Sprinting across the map to delay the 3rd base. Oh, the probe! Up! It looks like they'll get it. The probe does go down. A nice delay here for Wayne. Meanwhile, the Oracle dives into the main base. No Spore in position, and we do manage to get 2 drones before pulling out. Only 2 workers. A lot of hull damage dealt to the Oracle. Not the best trade for Stats. Not the best trade as the Oracle is very, very low. But we're not done. 2nd Oracle's moving out. 3rd Oracle's on the way. 3rd base is now being thrown down. Stats settling into his game. It's on Wayne to minimize losses to keep up with all these Oracles. Easier said than done. Oracle dives into the natural. Doesn't get a drone kill. Forces out a Spore. Meanwhile, I see a Twilight Council on the way for Stats. Okay, a little bit earlier here for Stats. With this fast Twilight Council, this could lead into Glaive Adepts. Could lead into a fast Blink. We'll keep our eye on Stats here. As there's no Forge alongside this, aggression is on the horizon for Stats. Okay, there we go. Forge was delayed. Now with the Forge now on the way, this should be for Blink. As the Adepts stay threatened shade into natural. Oh! They commit! Lings are in position. The Adepts will trade somewhat well against the Lings, but they're being shut down. Meanwhile, Oracle into the natural. Adepts into the main. Stage Trap does catch a lot of drones. No reaction out of Wayne. He was distracted by the Adepts. And Harvest Mineral Line is caught in that stasis. Meanwhile, across the map, there it is. Blink is on the way. It's our upgrade of choice. Again, we have the Forge. We have +1. Additional gateways on the way. I believe that's a 4-gate setup. Another stasis in the natural. No! Okay, this time we react. No, we came back too soon. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Wayne may have not lost too many workers, but he has taken a lot of stasis to the face here. Does impact his economy. Yeah, you can see heavily in favor of stats, deep in the red. Wayne's still trying to keep up. Interesting choice here out of Wayne. He's going for a fast infestation pit. This should be for Hive Tech and for a Hydrogen as well. Looks like Wayne is thinking about trying to take up even further and race into Hydro Lurker, but we'll see if he can get there. To start things off, Stats already pushing on to Grief. And clears up tumors. Blink is not quite done. But we are trading with roaches. There we go, Lings have arrived, we have to back up. That was one Stalker going down. Still a better trade for Stats. More Lings are amassing. Thankfully, Wayne isn't cutting too many corners. He did go Ling Roach, and now we see what the infestation was for. I assumed it was going to be for a Hive Tech, but no. We're getting into Swarm Host. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure if I'm in love with it. Swarm Hosts can be an option in this matchup. They're typically seen against Charge Lot Archon-based compositions, just because Charge Lots and Archons have a hard time keeping up with Nidus Swarms and with Swarm Hosts. They're not as mobile. So there's a place for Swarm Hosts in this matchup. Against Mastling Stalker, I'm a little bit concerned. Concerned for Wayne, I meant to say. As the Nidus Swarm Hosts have arrived. Stalker's gaining ground, clearing up creep. Ooh. You managed to focus down one of those roaches. Yeah, Lings are being cleaned up as well. And the scary thing here is that these Swarm Hosts are going to be vulnerable. Their first Locust Wave can be quite impactful, but then we got to get the hell out of there. There's no Nidus Worm. They have to waddle back. They are prone to getting caught out. No! Once again, the stasis does connect. Shuts down the Lings. Swarm Host coming in from behind, trying to catch out the Stalkers. And here comes the Locust Wave. Going straight for the third. The Stalker's going to be able to outmaneuver them. They do back up. Likewise, the third base is exposed. Only a handful of units. Stalkers are going down. Wayne, can he break through? Storm is only halfway done. And so many Stalkers go down. Again, an interesting choice here for Wayne to use the Swarm Host to zone away those Stalkers to shut them down. Stats trying to muster up his army, bringing everything back home. Needs a couple more seconds for Storm. A couple more seconds. Another Locust Wave coming in. Going for the main army. Going for the High Templar. They collapse in and breaking through the first line of Stalkers. We see Wayne pushing forward, trying to get on top of those roaches, busting into the natural. Does slip in. Storm is now done. Massive storm on the roaches. Stats forcing back the army, but we have broken into the natural base. Probes are falling. Another big storm on the main army. Again, it looks like Wayne's main army is being cleaned up for the most part, but that harassing force has gotten a lot done. 9 probe kills. And you can see Wayne plummet in supply. Still has some supply to work with, but we have found the Swarm Hosts. And Locust Wave forced to land. Swarm Hosts will escape. It will get away. But Stats now free to expand and take a fourth. Gearing up into additional Immortals. Lings forced back. And now we can see that Wayne is indeed working towards Lurker Tech. Making greater use of that infestation bit, working towards hives of the hive and the Lurker. Do you catch one of the Swarm Host? Fleet Beacon on the way for stats. Let's go. Ready for Sky Toss. We'll catch all the Lings. Swarm Host rotating on the right hand side. So far, they've not been spotted. Not quite spotted here, as once again Locust Wave is triggered. We force a land, we back up. Oh, don't want to throw away too many Zealots. And Wayne, he has successfully survived long enough to get into his hive. The hive is done, Lurker upgrades are on the way, we have 6 Lurkers in production. Wayne, he's pulling this off. He still needs a little bit more time to morph them in, but yeah, they're finishing up. Wayne getting in position. And without Skytoss, can stats break through this? The defensive line a little bit too strong. Stats only has the 1 Stargate. Mothership is on the way, but no carriers or Tempest. Not yet. Looking for another way in. Only 2 Lurkers in position, but it is enough to scare stats away. To scare him off. And there we go. Now we get 2 more Stargates. You can argue that this production setup from stats is delayed. It is a little bit late. But we're in for a long one. So strap yourselves in, papi. Carrier production has commenced. The Lurkers coming in from behind. The Lurkers are exposed and they're all going to go down. A little bit too ambitious there from Wayne. The Locust Wave gets 8 probes. And we catch the Swarm Host. The Swarm Host, they're completely caught out. At the same time, Zell's going to be distracting the main army. Every Swarm Host falls. And we are down to 4 Lurkers. Honestly, stats can keep pushing. But we have an extra wave of Lurkers finishing up. Stats playing it safe. He's going to play it safe. He's going to back off. Is up to 1 carrier. I believe he's now making 3 at a time. We're strapped in, Papi. Ah, let's go. Yeah, there it is. The mass carrier production is on the way. And Wayne, I believe, has not scouted this. I believe Wayne has not seen the main base. He's not aware of the Sky Toss. Okay, now he is. That's what the mothership and the carrier. And to help counteract that, we need those Vipers. And we need to think about Spire. For now, Wayne trying to pull stats apart. He gets caught out by Stasis Traps. Headed towards the northern base. Oh, Hydras are getting caught out. The Lurkers as well. And massive catch. 2 Lurkers, 3 Lurkers go down. That's a kill on the northern Nexus. But I don't think stats cares. The Stasis. Catching Hydras and stats, he's committed. He's moving out. Doesn't care about the army. He's going for the kill. Lurker is not quite done. High Templar looking a bit exposed in the back line, but they're safe. They do push in. Back at home, we have a carrier to defend. And Wayne is in trouble. Oh, the High Templar. Oh, 1 High Templar goes down. Bit of miscontrol there from stats. But he's got 5 more High Templar where that came from. Plenty of Storms, plenty of High Templar. Back at home, Zealots do defend. And GG gets called. Wayne gets picked apart. Not ready for the Sky Toss. Not ready for this kind of game state. And stats will tie things up 1-1. GG. GG, well played. That was an interesting look at his stats. It looked like he didn't know what happened. It's like, what's going on, Pat? GG, well played. Stats does take it in the end. That was an interesting game out of Wayne. He was able to achieve a little bit early on with his first wave of Locusts. It was impressive that he caught all the Stalkers. But after that, he kind of lost his momentum, and Stats was able to stabilize on his 4-base economy, start working towards Sky Toss, able to take better fights and better trades. And again, Wayne, it took him a little bit too long to really get into his stride. He never got into any Vipers. Never any Vipers, never any Spellcasters. Of course, no Spire either. He was being very active with his Hydra Lurker Roach. He was being very active and he bled out too much. He was beating out a lot of Lurkers, a lot of Hydras, just trying to be too aggressive out on the map, and it led to a massive counterattack. Stats could not be stopped. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a tied up series. We have a tied up series 1-1 between Starlight Twinkle and Twisted Fairy, and now we're getting ready for our next matchup for Christiana versus Keen. Let's go. Christiana versus Keen is going to be coming up next. Oh, I remember this. Okay, let's go. As we're getting ready for our next PVT, our players are setting up. Now, I mentioned before, I mentioned it again. The reason why we didn't cast this tournament live is this reason. Do you see where Christiana is? He's at the LAN. On Saturday, we casted for 12 hours straight. There was a LAN in Poland called the House Galactic. Organizers were more than happy to accommodate and allow Christiana to play WTL instead first before getting back into his LAN. And here we go. You have in the top left, bottom right, Christiana for Starlight Twinkle. And in the top left, we have Keen for Twisted Fairy. For those who don't know, Danskik is the organizer of the LAN. Yes. He is the organizer of the LAN. He was also the host. Great guy. Great guy. Is that Keen's laundry? No, it's your laundry. You were wondering where your clothes were. He has them. He took them, means horns. Where are your clothes? Here we go. We are going to be settling in to our PVT. Into game 1 on Oceanborn. Let's go. So again, it's going to be a double gas opener here out of Keen. Christiana playing with his phone, as in that's why the camera is vertical, because most likely he's got his phone acting as his webcam. Love to see it. Beautiful. Tell her to give him back. Oh no. Not like this. Keen's the captain now. We have no say. What can we do? But yes, it is Commander Keen, of course. Keen was competing last season for the Kwangdong Freaks, if you recall, but now is competing for Twisted Fairy. I remember at the start of the year, I was concerned, and we were convinced that Keen had retired. That Keen had stepped away from the game. A lot of the Kwangdong Freak players did end up retiring at the start of the year. Armani being one of the more notable ones. Armani, SOS, of course, stepping back. But I was pleasantly surprised when Keen was announced to be in the roster of Twisted Fairy in the new season of WTL. Was announced in the new roster, and yeah, Keen he did stop competing for, I think it was like around 5 months, or so, 4 to 5 months. Did step away, but is now back. And we'll see how Keen compares to a player of the caliber of Christiana, as we have our Twilight Council opener. Now, Christiana, he was popping off this weekend. And I do recommend watching the VODs of the House Galactic battle. Christiana was looking very impressive. He was on fire, looking like the best player in Poland. But the reality is that we were missing someone. We were missing someone at House Galactic battle, as it was their mother's birthday. I'm referring to Spirit. Spirit was not at the House Galactic battle, so Christiana's PVT was not tested at the event. Instead, going to be tested here. What I'm getting at is that Christiana was looking insane in PvP and in PvZ, but what about PVT? That's the question here. We weren't able to see much of it on Saturday, so I'm ready here for World Team League. I'm ready for it. For now, it's going to be that Twilight Council opener into Blink. Blink is on the way, additional gateways as well. Apparently, Psionic got hired by Little Fairy. Whether it means he'll get into WTO roster is another problem. Yeah, that's really cool to hear. Really cool to hear. I mean, Psionic has been improving. I do notice him week after week in the ESL Open Cups. So it's really cool to hear that Psionic is being supported by Little Fairy. As you mentioned, Little Fairy has a lot of players, has a decent roster, and it isn't confirmed that they're, of course, going to be fielded for WTL. But regardless, really cool to hear. I'm curious as to, like, I don't know much about Little Fairy. To begin with, I assume that Little Fairy, and I think it still is a Chinese team, but they reached out and they support like a lot of European players, or they have supported a lot of European players in the past. So yeah, it's interesting. Do appreciate it. As you see Cristiano committing, reinforcing, moving out across the map with his prison, with his stalkers. And we'll see if Keen can hold on against this. Ooh, no tanks back at home, by the way. He's been focusing and rushing into Stim of all things. Very fast Stim here from Keen. We shut down the Cyclone. Pushing out towards the main base at the same time. Widowmine drop here towards the main of Cristiano. And mine shot's going off. No reaction! No reaction. 8 probes go down, but we don't care. We're committed. And remember, there is a lot of Marines, but they have vanilla Marines. No stim, no combat shields, no upgrades. Boys being fooled. Without any tanks is going to be a tough hold for Keen. Again, Keen was rushing to Marauder production to stim. And these bio upgrades, that's a kill on the CC. The CC goes down. Depots as well. And Cristiano doesn't even need to push into the main. He can. He can push into the main base, but he doesn't need to. Denying upgrades. Back at home, Cristiano, he's expanding, taking a third, probing up. Chips away at the wall. He gets an extra depot. First tank is almost out. Stim is finishing up in 10 seconds. Stim is finishing up, and with that, Keen is going to be able to hold on to his one base. And the Widow Angel comes back in. Up! We pull away. And this time a much better reaction. 2 probes to 2 Widow Mines. We do shut this down. And now the win condition here for Cristiano is just contain. Just contain Keen on one base for as long as possible. And we're getting even more than that as we dive into the main. 4 SCVs go down. And the Stalkers do get out. And again, this is all we need to do. Just contain our opponent, stand outside the natural, delay any kind of CC. And likewise, hopefully not be too greedy. You know, Cristiano, he's on 3 bases. He's working on charge, gateway explosion. Just have to make sure we don't skip too many warp ins. We don't fall too far behind. As that third base getting saturated. And Keen is all in. Keen does not have a third CC or a backup natural CC. Has no bases. We have to commit. Is breaking out. We do have to go further than that. Prism going back into the main, and we're forcing out stims. We do shave off some Stalkers. And there we go. The boys, they have been pulled. It's all or nothing here for Keen. There's no macroing out of this. Not anymore. It's all or nothing. And with all these Marauders, I mean, hey, we can break through some of these Stalkers. CC has to lift. We recall back home. Cells have arrived. Tanks are sieging up. The Bio Army a little bit too exposed there. A lot of Marines already going down. And we are shutting this down. GG gets called. Cristiano. Do you recommend it? US West. I'm like, okay. So he is primed. He's ready for it. And here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Cristiano for Starlight Twinkle. And in the top right, we have Keen for Twisted Fairy. It could be Daniel, or he's on Sidestorm. Yeah. Okay. I was trying to think. I was like, is there anyone left on Sidestorm that's also in Poland? I was trying to think. I was like, I mean, Geralt, yes, but Geralt has the modern Sidestorm jersey. So could be Danielo, true. Go be Daniela. So now we are settling in. Now we're going to be settling into post-youth. Interesting map choice here by Keen. This does mean you have a much more secure natural. It means that something like 4-gate Blink Stalker is not anywhere near as effective. True. I've been winning too if I got kisses afterwards. Ah, smooch. That's why we don't win, Papi. Ah. Nah, but it's really cool. Really cool that Cristiano has a lot of support. It's wholesome, Papi. It's wholesome. As Cristiano is going for his gate expand, setting up back at home. Setting up back at home, and we'll keep our eyes on Keen mostly here. Again, with this map of choice, I'm sure Keen has something interesting in store for us, something special. I mean, the hybrid base is already a big advantage here. The likelihood of this being a Stargate over, meanwhile, nice stutter stepping out of Keen. Just shut down the probe. Nicely done. Probe gets shut down. We have a factory follow-up. And again, on a map like this, I expect to see a Stargate open out of Cristiano. We'll see if he goes into Blink instead. If it is Blink, we'll keep an eye on how many gateways get thrown down. Oh, okay, never mind. My apologies. It is not a Stargate opener. It's not a Twilight Council. It is a Robo opener instead. This I appreciate. With a Robo opener, it's actually very safe. It's a very safe build, but it allows you to rush into Colossus. It allows you to get into a really fast bay thereafter and into Colossus production. It is, I would say, a more tech-heavy and defensive style, just because you don't have Blink Stalkers to be active, you don't have Phoenixes or Oracles to be active either. For the most part, you're stuck at home. You can harass with a Warp Prism. You can go Warp Prism first, then followed by tech. That is an option here for Cristiano. If you want to be a little bit more active, we'll see. As Keen is getting into a 1-1-1. Say 1-1-1 opener. Meanwhile, Cristiano, yeah, he doesn't waste any time with any kind of prism or an observer first. No. The bay has been thrown down. We are rushing into Colossus. Now, what this means is that Cristiano is going to be, for the most part, stuck at home. It means that he won't be able to be applying much pressure at all or much aggression, at least until we hit critical mass of Colossus, until we build up an army. But again, because how defendable post-youth is, I mean, it's difficult to really be too aggressive, even with Blink Stalkers or even with Phoenixes. So I do like this approach from Cristiano. So again, going to be able to get into those faster Colossus, into a third base, and build up. Meanwhile, the first Prism is on the way. And again, this is to be able to have some kind of map presence to harass with the depths, to scout our opponent more importantly. Ooh, that is Warp Prism Speed on the way. Okay, my apologies here. With Warp Prism Speed, we're going for a Colossus drop. Estrella, is that you? Is that Cristiano? You're in Europe, papi. Why are you playing like an American? What's going on? Okay, so we are gonna be approaching something. We're gonna be approaching this in a different way, going for a Colossus drop of all things. Very unorthodox. You rarely see this. We've seen players like Estrella, like Nina, embrace this kind of style. Mind Drop is coming in. Meanwhile, Colossus moving out across the map. Widow Mines will burrow up. Not a bad connection. 2 probes. 2 probes will go down. Meanwhile, the Prism moving out across the map towards that main. And it's so risky going for something like a Colossus drop. Like, there's so much value in this drop. It's so expensive, but Marines are going down. They're getting shaved off one after the other. So far, good trades. We can avoid that Raven. Oh my god, the swipes are too good. The Marines are getting shut down. And the Colossus and the Prism, they take a lot of hits, but they take down every single Marine. And they rain down into the mineral line. So far, 3 SCVs going down. Ooh, that was a big tank shot. Again, we do have to be careful. The Colossus is now down to red HP, but we got 14 Marines. Even though we didn't really get too many workers, and ideally you do get SCVs with this, Still getting 14 Marines is a very nice start. The Viking has arrived. We have to get the hell out of here. Cristiano is racing back home. And Cristiano hard switching into something very different. We're going into a Twilight Council, Forge, a Gateway Explosion. We delayed the second Colossus in favor of all this tech. Just now the second Colossus on the way. Cristiano rotating back in. Risky move here by Cristiano. Here comes our Mind Drop. Cristiano pulling away. Up, up, up. Delayed reaction. Massive connection. 5 probes go down. Cristiano having a much harder time keeping up. Again, his attention was across the map, focusing on the drop. And the Vikings in position. And Cristiano not finding a way in. And with that, this is a back and forth. Like, Keen is able to sustain himself, able to keep up here against Cristiano. Keen down 7 workers, yes, but does have mules. Still a very tense moment. Very tense moment here as the Prism is moving out across the map. Is moving out, headed towards that mineral line. Charge about to finish up. So we're going for a charge drop. And charge is now done. But we do have Marines in position. Marines are ready for it. So Keen just being contained. That's quite an amount of Raxes. We have our 5 racks set up. Taking our 3rd. Setting up for a longer game. That mine is still in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. And again, it looks like Keen isn't going for any kind of strong timing or any earlier timing. He's just expanding, taking a 3rd pace. Prism does get into the main. Going for a big warp in. Ooh. Warp in is denied. We only get a handful of SCVs. But again, Keen is just stabilizing on 3 bases. Macroing up. Widowmine coming back in. This time we do react in time. Whew. Widowmine is finally cleaned up. And now Cristiano has the 2nd robo. We're going into double disruptive production. Disruptors are on the way. Likewise, Cristiano unable to get into the main. Is forced back. And we're taking up even further. Keen going for a Ghost Academy. Cristiano going for a 4th. And still sharking around with that Warp Prism. Going for the main mineral line. SCVs are going down. The Prism may fall. And the Vikings are in position and we will shut this down. Only getting 2 SCVs. And Keen is pushing. Is moving out. And can Cristiano defend against this push? I mean, we have potential. There's a lot of Vikings, that's true. The Colossus are going to be under threat. One of them very low. But we have Disruptors. We have Novas. As Keen does outposition Cristiano. Cristiano just zoned away from his own 4th base. And there's no saving it. The 4th is denied. Cristiano stuck with an even base count. So the Mind Shot going up. Ooh, takes out the Stalker. Stalker going to be falling. Auto harass into the main, getting 4 more probes. And Keen is finding his stride. Looking good. Slowly pushing forward. Cristiano finding a good chunk of the army. And Marines going down Marauders as well. The Vikings are going ham. They take down the Colossus. What about the Novas? Oh, big connections. Yeah, the connections are just a little bit too good. We're diving on top of the army. The tank is putting in a lot of damage in the back line, but we get on top of it. The tank will go down. And Cristiano is going to keep on pushing. Now, this did cost him all of his Colossus and Disruptors. It was a messy fight. It looks like it's just too much. The Vikings are going to have to land. The boys are being pulled. Vikings now going to be landing. But reinforcements have arrived, and we have a Disruptor. And Cristiano looking to snowball out of control. Never goes off. Ooh, connects with the SCVs. And it looks like we have done it. Cristiano Papi not just looking good in the PvP or against Zerg players, but also here against Keen, against the Terran. And more Zealot reinforcements trickling in. The Disruptors did go down. But we've gotten 25 SEV kills, and we're not done. 28 workers going down. There's a tank in the back line. We can focus it down as well. It looks like Keen is barely going to hold on. Just barely, but GG gets called. The writing is on the wall, and Cristiano and Danskik takes the series 2-0. Let's go. GG, well played. Cristiano, not playing from home, playing from the LAN event. Able to clear. We are jumping in, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have Cham for Starlight Twinkle. And in the top left, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. Again, I need you to know that I'm not crazy. Like, keep an eye on Classic. See whatever he sips from his mug. I'm pretty sure it's a Pikachu mug. Or at least it's yellow with a black thunderbolt. At least. Yeah. For now, we're settling in. Classic going for a standard gate expand. Cham, my eyes are definitely on our Zerg player here, as Cham is an animal. And we love him for it. Do love him for it. There we go, going for the natural expansion. Settling in. Now, one of the big features of Amphion is how secure your third is. The third base on this map can be very secure if you expand at the triangular location, and it can be very difficult for Zerg players to try to punish it and apply pressure. We've seen a lot of Zerg players actually mine through the minerals really early on just to gain access to that area of the map, or work on the rocks early on as well. We'll see how Cham approaches this, as it's going to be a hatch pool opener. Interesting. Cham going for a slightly earlier pool, slightly later gas. Curious if it's just for an earlier queen and just to be economic. Nothing too major. Back at home, Classic is expanding as well. Here we go. Again, when it comes to Amphion, as aggressive as Cham is, and as much as I would love to see some kind of Ling Roach-based all-in off of 3 bases, Amphion is just not the best map for that. Because of the defendable third base, because of the defendable natural as well, there's a ramp coming into it, which is a unique feature, something that we see only on Site Delta and Amphion as well. Does make it that much more difficult to push up into the ramp, into the natural. Post-Youth is the other one. And we have our take of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of Classic. Standard opener here so far from our Protoss player. Should be Stargate into, I imagine, Oracles. We have seen some players try to play with Void Ray into Skytoss on this map. The reasoning for this is because how defendable and how many corners you can cut on this map. Likewise, the main base is a little bit exposed, as there's kind of dead space right outside it. So we have seen players try to have some fun with some Tempest Rushes. Classic is one to embrace that if you give him the opportunity. For now, Oracle. For now, it's going to be an Oracle opener. Adept does shade in. And we'll shade on out. Again, just threading that mineral line. Saying that Adept has arrived. Now we can one-shot workers. So far, Cham hasn't lost anything major yet. So it does bleed out the tumor. Shade is cancelled. We head into the mineral line. Oracle on the way. Second Oracle in production as well. And we do commit. Yeah, we dive into the mineral line. 2 workers already going down. Oracle into the main as well. And we get 7 drone kills. Can we get even more than that? We get 8. 9? 8. 8 drone kills here between both bases for 2 Adepts. Well worth it for Classic. So a strong start for the Protoss player. Cham having a hard time keeping up. And again, we're not done. We still have more Oracles on the way. Speaking of, there's that second Oracle moving out. Third one's in production. I do like this from Cham because the Adepts did go down. There's nothing to defend the third, but we're able to warp in. Not enough Lings. Classic will hold. Behind this, Forge on the way. Twilight Council, I'll be for +1 and Blink. Oracles, they overcommit, and 1 Oracle falls, but we get another 4 drone kills. Another 5 drone kills. Another 6. Oh my god. 6 workers go down. Classic having his way with Cham. An insane amount of economic damage already. There's that 14 drone kills in total. And Cham is in a rough position. Cham is going for a Lair as we speak, going for a Roach Warren. But Cham, he still needs a stronger economy to sustain himself. At Epsay moving out across the map. And things are looking bleak. Cham, he doesn't have a lot of Lings. Doesn't have many Lings whatsoever. The boys are being pulled. Drones are going down. Cham not ready for this. He was just droning. Ay, ay, ay. He was in the midst of droning, which means 7 more drones go down. You see that 21 in total. Oh my god. And Classic is running away with this first game. He's done a devastating amount of damage. Behind this, he's freely just teching into a Robo, into Temple Archives, Archon, Storm. Classic is looking quite comfortable. And Cham needs something to go his way. There you go. We're risking it all. We're going for a Spire. This makes sense. Spire is a way to bounce back. If it goes unscattered, then maybe Cham can do some counter damage and equalize. There is a lot of potential in Mass Muta, especially if unscattered. But it is a risk. If Classic sees this, then he can just go for the kill. Classic is able to spot that Spire. He can respond. Diving into the natural, getting 2 more drone kills. Managed to get 2 more. Lings across the map, but we have Adepts. We have Stalkers. I believe the Spire has been unscattered. I don't think we've seen it yet. I spoke too soon. Never mind. As soon as I say it, bam, we get the revelation. And Classic, he sees everything. We have a Phoenix on the way. Cannons in production. Shield batteries. More Blink Stalkers, I imagine. Big reaction here from Classic. And Cham is still making his first wave of mutas. The first wave on the way. Phoenix reveals itself. We have a second Stargate in production for a double Phoenix production. I think that's the second Robo as well. Mutas do reveal themselves. We get the revelation. We are able to keep up. Classic even throwing down a Fleet Peak, and that should be for Anion Pulse Crystals. That should be for Phoenix range. Classic able to keep up. Cham doubling down on mutas. And there is a chance where maybe he can try to catch these Phoenixes. Or even avoid them. Speaking of, the Phoenixes, they catch the mutas. Damage done, pull back. Things unable to break through. And so far, these mutas haven't really done anything. They haven't gotten into a mineral line yet. They haven't really caught Phoenixes until now. They try to. But we have the overcharge. Classic does respond in time. Chasing down the mutas. Getting very up. Delicate micro. As Stalkers, they come in for the surround. Shut down a decent chunk of mutas. You see Cham reinforcing with Lings and Roaches. More mutas on the way. Ooh, massive stasis. And Cham has to back up. Likewise, he also has to respect the High Templar. Leaf Storm is done. You just say dive into the main base, and it looks like we will barely deny +2. Just in time. +2 is denied. Or we do trade out 3 mutas for 1 Phoenix. Getting up almost another. Phoenixes are quite low. Phoenix Rage is on the way. We have double Immortal production as well. I would love to see Archons. I don't think we have many. But as I say that, we are morphing in 6 High Templar, so never mind. there we go. Archons are on the way. Exactly what we needed. And Archons, they can do well against Lings, against Mutas. Against most of what Cham has. Cham is maxed out, but again, the soup does lie. I'd say there's still more potential with Classic's army. Cham could still avoid the main force and get into a mineral line. It's still possible. I love that we have sprinkled in a couple of Corruptors. That's kind of the backbone of this army against the Phoenixes. The main base, depower some gateways. Trying to camp the Stargates as well. Stargates under fire. Corruptors, they do hold the line. At the same time, Lings, they pounce on the main army. Match catch a couple of workers. Cham has to back up. Ooh, rallying Corruptors across the map. Over the Archons. And Mutas are going down. You can see Cham's army supply plummet. And here comes the push. Oh, here comes the death blow of an army from Classic. He's moving out across the map. The Mutas get cleaned up completely. Ooh, as we force a recall. We force a recall back home. Classic pulling back. But the Phoenixes, they take down every Muta, every single Corruptor as well. Stasis catching the army. And Classic is maxed out. Classic is maxed out at this point. Cham is hurting. He lost so much supply earlier. Lost so many Mutas. And here comes Classic. The Stalkers, the Archons, the Mass Immortal as well. There's just no answer to this. There's nothing left. GG gets called, and Classic will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG. Shall see. So we are diving in and spawning in the top right-hand corner. We have Cham for Starlight Twink. And in the bottom left, we have a Classic for Twisted Fairy. Here we go, Cham. Okay, not going for the gold as his natural, going for the hybrid base initially. Here we go. You can see Classic immediately checked the gold base as well. He's wise to the shenanigans of Cham, doesn't want to get caught out. So he checks, confirms that the gold was not taken. We can see, of course, Cham did take the other base. Just updated the title. Did take the hybrid base instead for the time being. Just hash gas pull. Send the opener out of Cham. But again, we'll see what he has in store for us here on this map. Pro being annoying as possible. Tasing away at those drones. Mining those minerals. Likewise, Classic going for his own expansion as well. Going for his own natural. Classic, oh my god, Classic being a little bit too cheeky. Will lose the probe. Nice little win for Cham. Classic did fly too close to the sun there. Probe is shut down. Meanwhile, Classic going for a Stargate opener. Hidden behind his natural. Will be a little bit more difficult to scout. Because of that, Cham may believe the second pylon was proxy. As here we go, there it is. I was like, there's no shot we don't rush into the gold at some point, right? There it is. The third base is being taken as the gold. And Cham does not scout the tech, does not get eyes on the Stargate. Barely does miss it. Now with this gold base being taken, Cham should be main-arting over to saturate it as quickly as possible. Adepts are moving out. Now what I'm concerned about is it's not easy to defend the gold base and your main and natural, just because of how spread out they are. And we saw how much damage Classic dealt with the standard opener last game, right? With vanilla adepts and with some oracles, we got 21 drone kills. So I am a little bit concerned. One adept does go down. We'll see if Cham can minimize his losses and actually make use of the gold. Oracle's moving out. Is zooming across the map. Does come from the gold base. No saturation yet. Cham is massing lings. That's a lot of lings. That is a lot more than we should be seeing right now. The reasoning for this is because Classic is expanding, taking a third. Twilight cards are behind this. Third base should be denied. I don't see a forge. I don't see a forge for a Classic. What does this mean? This could be glaives. This could be glaive adepts. Stalker adept, they do manage to move out in time. But we have a swell, a surge of lings moving out, going for the surround. It looks like we will get it. Yeah, forcing a recall. Adept goes down. So does the Stalker. Recall doesn't save them. We get a full surround here on the third base. At the same time across the map, 2 drones did fall to an Oracle. And there it is. We have confirmation. Glaive adepts. Okay. So again, because there was no forge, we assumed it would be glaives. Which means Cham with pure ling is not going to cut it. I'm concerned. More adepts are revealed, but that should be normal. No tell yet. Behind this, Cham is droning. Still on 1 gas. There it is. Roach Warden is on the way, thankfully. As we will need those roaches. Without them, it's good. Things are going to get out of hand. Oracles dip in. They do dip into the main. And damage is starting here. It is adding up. 5 workers go down. Good start here for Classic. Catching 5 drones. 11 roaches on the way, but Classic hits first. Glaives finishing up in 5 seconds. And we're going straight for the gold. Yeah, Glaive adepts, we have the oracles. Queen gets caught out. We do go for the mineral line. We cancel the shade. We're just camping that gold base, ensuring that Cham cannot mine. Catch 2 workers, catching roach reinforcements as well. Good pickups. And we come into the shade. The armor rush is lying in wait, but we're going for the mineral line once again. Wedging ourselves in between the mineral patches. Ling's going for the surround. Oh, we commit! Ling's in position. Nice catch from Cham. Very impressive. Adepts are being cleaned up, but they get into the mineral line. Drones are going down. Cham moved away a little bit too soon. And it's all stacking up. 9 drone kills. Cham down to 35. Back at home, Classic is starting Immortal production. Sentries on the way. And we're all in. At this point, we are completely all in. Cham sending everything across the map. The lings, the roaches. No Ravagers. The Queens, they're already here. The Queens have arrived. There's 1 Immortal to defend. Soon to be a second. But there are so many force fields. But we do have Ravagers. Show us the vials. Yeah, force fields are knocked down. Lings, they collapse on top of the sentries. The Ravagers having a hard time pushing in. Overcharge is popped, but it's going to be piled down. And does Shem have enough? It's going to be close. The shield battery goes down, but the Ravagers are falling one after the other. Where are the Lings? We need more Lings. And we don't have them. Classic, he's holding. He shuts down the army. GG gets called, and Classic will take the 2-0. GG, well played. Again, the Glavenette follow-up did catch Shem off guard, did cripple his economy, and that did impact the all-in. Meant that Shem had that much less to commit. And we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. We're going all the way to game 7, and here in the ace match, I feel it's got to be the PvP, right? No, it depends. It depends. I do know that Cristiano had to play in WTL during the House Galactic battle, but I don't know if he was also available for the ace match. I would love to see a PvP between Cristiano and Classic, but again, I don't know if Cristiano is available. If he isn't, Wayne might step up instead. I feel like the ace for Twisted Fairy needs to be Classic. From the side of Starlight Twinkle, it could be Cristiano or it could be Wayne, depending on who's available. It's got to be one of them. Does have to be one of them. Who is it gonna be? Hoping for Wayne versus Stats. I don't think Stats is coming out as it. It's gonna be Classic, right? But maybe. If Classic is maybe unavailable, you know, if he had a little bit too much Pikachu coffee, then maybe Stats steps in instead. Again, I feel like for Starlight Twinkle, it depends on whether or not Cristiano is available. But again, he was competing in the House Galactic battle. Was competing in it. Bearing in mind as well, the ace map is going to be Ghost River. It's a best of 1. Best of 1 on Ghost River, and here we go. We have our players. It is indeed going to be Classic, and Cristiano, he's playing once again. Once again, Cristiano playing from the gaming part, playing from the LAN. Was able to find time in between his matches. And Cristiano, he already took down Keen 2-0, but Classic is a different beast. He is a different beast. This is going to be a close one. I favor Classic. I favor Classic overall, but in a best of 1 PvP, anything can happen. Cristiano does have a chance. You know, he's got the home field advantage. He's got a crowd behind him. True. Got all the other Polish players in the area as well. Can give him some advice. Can help support him. We'll see. We'll see if he can. As for now, we are going to settle into this. Again, just the one game. Again, while we were casting the House Galactic battle, I did avoid looking at WTL the entire weekend. Did avoid it, but I'm here for it. Also, shout out to the trophy case of Classic. He's got his trophies in the background. Beautiful. You love to see it. Do love to see it. Got the pro plushie as well. As we are settling in. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have Cristiano for Starlight Twinkle. And in the top right, we have his opponent. We have Classic for Twisted Fairy. Here we go. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to the ace match. Keen to see the stats when Cristiano versus Classic last played. True. Would be curious myself. For now, we're settling in. It's going to be 2 gate openers all around. I know that in PvP, Cristiano has been very fond of going into a more max packs oriented opener, but I'm not too sure if he's willing to do that here on Ghost River. Gases are being taken, and there we go. Second gateway is thrown down for both Cristiano and Classic. are thrown down. And I could be mistaken, but at least according to Wikipedia, Classic and Cristiano have never played against each other in individual leagues. That's crazy. I guess I could double check on the Ligilac, but according to Wikipedia, they've never played before. Maybe in other team leagues, which Wikipedia does not count. But they've never faced off against each other in an online weekly, like in a Kung Fu Cup or in an ESL Americas. Again, it's rare that Cristiano even plays in those. So yeah, never played. Crazy. We have our first. We never forget our first. As we do have a double adept opener from Classic. So Classic taking a more aggressive approach. Meanwhile, Cristiano goes for a sentry opener into the expand. So a bit of a greedier build here by Cristiano, as Cristiano did skip his second unit. So you can see the next is already on the way. So Cristiano will have the better economy. Classic needs to get some damage done to catch up and make up for that worse economy here. Stargate's on the way. Adepts have arrived. Cristiano, can he keep up? Can he force field that ramp or block it off? Oof, just in time. Does get the shield battery. Two more adepts coming out. They reveal themselves to the pylon. Stargate should finish, and the Stargate should be for an Oracle opener from the side of Classic. Should be for the Oracle. Adepts still threatening Shades. They do still threaten those Shades. Keeping Cristiano pinned. Being pinned back. Getting into the main. Oh, we do shade in. We commit. Adepts, they go straight for the mineral line. Probes are going down. Again, takes 2 adepts to one-shot a probe, and we have 3 in the main. And that's going to be 4, 5, 6 dead workers. 7 probes going down. And in the PvP, sometimes all it takes is a handful of adepts shading in. And with that, Classic takes a worker lead. He may have been behind in the base count, and he still doesn't have a natural. But he makes up for it. Classic does make up for it. So this should even up the worker counts, as Cristiano is making 2 probes at a time. And by the time he catches back up to 30, Classic should have his own natural. Twilight Council's done. Dark Shrine on the way. Classic, he's wild. Going for Adept Harass into Oracles into a Dark Shrine as well. Just nothing but aggression from Classic. Pulling the Stalkers out of position, getting 1 more probe. Just all over Cristiano. And this is Cristiano going for the Robo. Getting into his own blink. Hallucination. Have we seen the Dark Shrine? That I'm not so sure about. We have. Whew, okay. Dark Shrine is spotted. Dark Shrine is cancelled. Classic respecting Cristiano. Recognize that he got scouted. Does recognize it. Does cancel. And we'll start working towards the 3rd. Speaking of, Cristiano is the first to expand. Takes the 3rd base. Classic should not be too far behind. There we go. His own 3rd is also on the way. We are calming things down. Worker counts are neck and neck, slightly in favor of Classic. 41 to 40 probes. Again, that worker damage earlier was necessary for Classic to keep up with Cristiano because his expansion was so late. As the Oracle dives into main base, getting a revelation. Going for the stasis. Oh! Ooh. Classic will be forced back. Cristiano this time able to keep up. Stalker is going to be on the way. Rotating over towards the 3rd. Likewise, Oracle into the natural as well. Getting a handful of probe kills. 3 probes going down. Very nicely done. Once again, keeping Cristiano in check. Let's keep him in. Adept harass not as successful for Cristiano. Gets shut down. And Classic is moving out. Looking to hit that third. We do have a shield battery. Adept shading towards the natural once again. Cristiano does defend at the same time. Stays trap into the main. The main army pushes towards the third. Cristiano does hold the overcharge. And will hold on. Stage trap does connect. Catching 3 probes. And Classic just testing the limits here of Cristiano's attention. Pulling him left and right. Both players expanding. Both players taking a fourth. The game is still quite close between both players. Classic has been finding the edge here. Every now and then he gets 1, 2, 3 probe kills. Time and time again. As a result, now has the economy to get into and invest into Immortals, Archons, Charge Lots. That is going to be a massive power spike here for Classic. Cristiano sticking with a gateway-centric army, Blink Stalkers and Charge Lots instead. You can see here that basically Cristiano hasn't taken any extra gases. He has 2 gases, that's it. He has no gases at the third, no gases at the fourth, no gases at the natural. Because of that, pure Zealot. Meanwhile, Classic, with that extra gas, he can tech up into Archons, into Immortals. Classic's army is becoming higher and higher quality. Cristiano, he's going to be able to keep up numbers-wise in terms of supply, but again, it's going to have a bit of a harder time engaging. He has to be very careful with how he pushes in. He has to try to outmaneuver that Archon and that Immortal. Probe dips in. Oracle gets shut down. Cristiano pushing forward, but he runs into the main army. Does pull back. Again, Classic with a handful of Archons will completely shut down these Zealots. Cristiano instead going for a run by. Okay. Zealots towards the natural, main army towards the third. Classic does spot this. And Cristiano actually sneaks out towards the fourth base. Okay. Gets the pylon. Probes are being pulled. Zealots, they bust into the main. And we should get a kill. Yeah, the Nexus will fall. Good pick off here from Cristiano. And he has to get the hell out of here. At the same time, Zealots recall back home. Cristiano being as efficient as possible. Okay, I see you. Still bleeding out Stalkers. Yeah, these are still rough losses. This Classic trades minerals for gas. Cristiano pulling back. Classic supply block. 6 pylons on the way. I mean, both players are supply block. Mirroring each other in more ways than one. But I think Classic's had enough. You can see him just pulling his entire army together. He knows that he is favored here. Cristiano up in upgrades. Go +2. I have a +2 just now finishing for Classic. Cristiano does catch some Archons. Very nicely done. 2 Archons go down. Ooh, but Cristiano has to be careful to be caught out. And we are bleeding out Stalkers. At the same time, Zealots coming in from behind, trying to set up us around the force fields. We block off some of those Zealots. The Stalkers, they dive on the army. But this is a rough fight for Cristiano. Stalkers are bleeding off. Yeah, the Stalker count completely resets. We lose every single Stalker. Now it's only Zealots. Rough positioning for Cristiano. GG gets called, loses everything, and Classic will take the game and the series for Twisted Fairy. Thumbs up, papi. GG. GG, well played. Twisted Fairy will take it in the end, but a shout out to Cristiano, a shout out to Starlight Twinkle, because they made a series out of this. They went all the way to the ace match. They went all the way to Game 7. GG, well played. Again, Cristiano, he was popping off earlier versus Keen, and even this game against Classic was back and forth. I mean, Classic for the most part was ahead. We mentioned it, because Classic was killing so many probes, that's why Classic had the economic advantage, had the stronger army as a result, with Archons, with Immortals, and Cristiano, he was stuck with a low tier army, with just purely Zealots and Stalkers, because he had lost so many workers, because he was staying on a low gas count. And he had potential with it. He was able to pick off, a couple of bases, able to catch some units here and there, but in a head-on fight, it did go the way of Classic. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up our first series of the night, and now we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, Shopify versus Mystery Gaming. See you soon. See you soon.
傲风 M6 旗舰评论，按摩遮断小弹腰2.0。3D 云朵枕，空调座舱，硬地机械地。
丢是我运营的产品，我想通过它和更多不懂分寸的人一起探索世界的边界。正是这些不懂分寸的人，也许他们不被理解，任性、固执，甚至疯狂。
就是我。
但如果没人去打破边界，谁又能玩透世界呢？
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”。这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second series of the night. Welcome back to World Team League WTL 2024 Summer Codes Round 5, day number 2. We just wrapped up with Starlight Twinkle versus Twisted Fairy, and now we are diving into our second best of 7. We're diving into Shopify Rebellion versus Mystery Gaming. Let's go. Again, Shopify, I believe all the players are back in their hometowns for quite some time. I say quite some time. For the week leading into DreamHack Dallas, all the players had traveled to Canada. They were staying at the Shopify HQ. I believe that is no longer the case now that we are post DreamHack, and this is going to be an interesting one. Again, a lot of these players are very much so in form, especially after DreamHack Dallas. Oh my god, Lemon. Not Artanis, but the Colossus. I did not realize. Lemon, aka Max Pax, is that you? Just saying, there's no cam, there's a unit instead. No, Artanis could be in that Colossus. Just saying. Shaking my head. But we have our first best of 2. We have our first best of 2 here for you. It's going to be Lambo versus Lemon in a ZVP, and we are diving right in. Oh my god, very little time here to breathe as we have Lambo for Shopify Rebellion. And in the top right, we have Lemon for Mystery Gaming. Lovely. I'm loving the Colossus. As we are settling into our PvZ once again. As a reminder, the starting map is predetermined. Our players have no say in it. Game 1 is on Dynasty. We have seen Zerg players struggle time and time again on this map. As I say that, Wayne was able to pull off an all-in last game versus Stats, last series I should say, and Lambo is going for the goal base. This is what we expect. This goal base is what we expect to be seeing here in almost every single ZVP that we cast on Dynasty. Lambo taking the gold on the right-hand side. Now you may be thinking, hold up, isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? Isn't that unsafe? Yes and no. Basically, when you take the gold in such a way that Lambo is, it means that you're a little bit more secure. Your mineral line is more secure because you're actually on the same side as aggression, right? When adepts come in and when stalkers or oracles come in to harass, it's going to be on the same side. So you have lings and queens to actually help protect your mineral line as opposed to kind of on the other side. Likewise, you also gain access to the Rich Vestian Gas Geyser. That rich gas allows you to go into a Roach all-in. Into a Roach-based all-in, so Lambo is going to make use of this. It's going to be on Lemon to punish this. Lemon does need to punish for the time being, going for the gold of his own. He is safe to do so. The Maynard has arrived, as Jones will be prioritizing these gold minerals, and Lemon still has to piece this together. Lemon will still piece this together as he is moving out across the map. Does confirm the lack of expansion. And we'll rotate over and check the gold. We'll rotate over for the time being. Lemon going for a Stargate opener. Creep is revealed. Gold base has been taken. And with the Stargate, it should be an Oracle to kick things off. I mean, Lemon is another player that's been improving quite a lot. Lemon, I mentioned before, is a kind of a random player. Lemon did compete for a while as Terran, then switched to Zerg. Now he's Protoss. Lemon, he has, in his career, he's had moments where he was one race, then another. He never quite played random. He could, but he never competed as random, would just switch between races depending on the year, basically. Like early 2020, I think he was Terran, then like around 2022, he was Zerg, and now most recently Protoss. And he can compete at the highest level with all 3 races, which is impressive. Is very impressive, and it's going to be a Void Ray opener for Lemon. Void Ray is on the way. The goal here is to shut down Overlords to keep the build hidden, and I would not be surprised if this is Void Ray into Glaives. It could also be Void Ray into Skytoss, Void Ray into second Stargate, or even Void Ray into a standard game. I don't expect a standard setup here just because of the build of choice from Lambo. Yeah, extra gates on the way. Void Ray is going to be shut down. Yeah, and there's our setup. 3 gates. I should say, soon to be 4 gateways and a Twilight Council. And this screams Glaive Adepts. So we do see Lemon now taking a third. Likewise, Lambo throwing down a Roach Horn at around the 3:53 mark. Quite early. As he does want to make use of that gas. Of that aggression. Shout out to all the sponsors as well. Doyu, Piu Piu, Autoful, and SE Boy. Much love to the sponsors. Without them, this event would not be possible. This event, Kung Fu Cup, Masters Coliseum, Stars War 11. Much love here. So all those that support SE Boy. As there it is, Glaives are on the way. Now, Glaive Adepts can do well against Ling Queen. Against Roaches, depends how many we have. As Lambo is getting ready for his own all-in. Do you see what I see? I see Pneumatized Carapace. Overlord Speed is on the way. I feel a German taxi. I mean, it makes sense. You know, it is Lambo playing. But there should be a German taxi on the horizon for Lambo. Massing up Roaches, massing up Queens. Soon to be Dropper Lords to move out across the map. And defensively, I'm not too fond of Glaive Adepts. Blink would have been a much more impactful upgrade here instead for Blink Stalkers. With Glaive Adepts, again, they can trade well against Lings, but defensively, they're not an ideal unit. As the Adepts are revealed, we're moving out across the map. Meanwhile, Roaches are amassing. Queens are pulling back. Dropolors are on the way. And can Lambo catch these Adepts? Army is revealed. We threaten the bases. And we commit to the shade! Yeah, we get into the natural... Sorry, we get into the goal base. Drones are going down. So far, only 4. But we do target fire as many drones as we can, as possible. 10 workers falling. But that did cost us a lot of Adepts, and Lambo still has a massive army supply. Lambo may have lost drones, and he's lost 11 drones in total. That's a lot of workers. But what about the army? What about the Roaches? What about the main force? As Lambo, he's still just working with Adepts. Blink is on the way, Robo's on the way, but it's also delayed. As Lambo is ready to pull the trigger. Moving out with those Queens. Forcing back that Void Ray. Roach is moving out at the same time. Adept's going to be shading into the natural. Into that natural base. But even so, we have Roaches lying in wait. And now Lambo can commit. He can commit to his all-in. The wall is solid for now, but the Cybercore is exposed. Yeah, probes are falling. We have Roaches here towards the north. Getting 7 probe kills. File's going to be connecting. First Immortal has arrived, but you can see how congested the army is without Blink. But Blink is finishing up in 5 seconds. I'm impressed. Impressed that Lambo has gotten to this point. Has finished Blink. Has an Immortal. Cybercore goes down. Void Ray towards the north is holding on. Gateways are under fire. But Lambo is still amassing more Roaches, more Ravagers. Does knock down the Gateway, going for the Immortal. Yeah, the Immortal's exposed. There's no War Prism to juggle. First Immortal is going to go down. The Overcharge as well. It does get denied. And Lambo forcing his way into the natural base. Solid blinks here out of Lemon. Is blinking well. And the Queens are tied up. But probes are still falling, and we still have an overwhelming ground army. Lambo busting into the natural base, getting into the mineral line, and the probes, they're up against the wall. There's nowhere to blink. There's nowhere to go. Where can we dive into? We blink back, but again, we're just running out of space in the natural. Link still flooding across the map. The Biles don't quite connect. But Stalkers are still falling. That is 20 probes going down. Lemon's still up in workers, which is impressive. He still has the better economy. But he has lost control of the base. The base will fall. Another Stalker getting picked off as well. And yeah, GG gets called. There's just too much to handle. And Lambo pulls off the all-in and takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played here. Lambo does take a lead, and again, I wasn't I wouldn't be opposed to something like Stargate into that second game. Oh, you're diving in. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner for Shopify Rebellion, it is Lambo. And in the top left, we have Lemon for Mystery Gaming. Here we go. Probe is being sent out, looking to disrupt the opener of Lambo. And again, as we load into Goldenrod, the Rushes and Spike round is not the longest. You know, it's relatively short and we can try to make use of that with aggression, but I feel like here in Game 2, Lambo will most likely calm things down, go for a more standard game, which will give Lemon the opportunity to be a little bit cheeky and bring something different to the table. You could even just see a straight-up Twilight Council opener instead. We shall see. And likewise, I'm sure Lambo has been studying Lemon. Shopify had been very vocal about this in the previous couple of seasons of WTL. How the Shopify players, they do actually study their opponents and prepare quite a lot for these matches for WTL. Players like Lambo, Scarlet, Harslam, Beyond. They do put a lot of time and effort into preparation. We'll see what we can do. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener from Lambo. Likewise, Lemon going for the Gate Expand. Once the Cybercore is done, we can see the tech of choice, whether it's a Twilight Council, a Robo, or a Stargate. We'll see what Lemon embraces. We shall see. As for now, we have speed on the way. We're full out of gas. Not working towards a Bane Bust or anything crazy like that. I'm going to be pulling out. And we have our take of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener here from Lambo. Sorry, from Lemon. Is going to be that Stargate opener. Now, last game it was Stargate into Void Ray, into Hidden Glaive Adepts. This game, I imagine it's going to be an Oracle opener, but we'll see. We shall see. Lambo does slip into the natural, threading those probes. Does threaten the workers. We get a free scout of the main. We get eyes on the Stargate. We get eyes on the first unit of choice as well. A very nice scout here from Lambo. Yeah, the Oracle is confirmed. As the wall was wide open. Back at home, Adept does shade in. But Lings are keeping up. Ling speed 7 seconds away. Ooh, as we catch an Adept. Again, that should not have happened. Adept goes down, which means Lemon has to race back home. Lambo with the Surge of Lings can deny and delay the third base for as long as possible. Even going for that final Adept. Oh! Barely not getting it. The Lings are forced back. But again, we're just forcing the Oracle to spend it and waste its energy back at home instead, defensively. Instead of harassing. So a very nice start here for Lambo. Lemon's still rallying, getting into his triple Oracle. Her Lings have arrived. They won't be able to contend against those Adepts. Do pull back. We have our follow-up. Twilight Council's on the way. Getting a more standard timing with the Twilight Council. Nothing too wild with it. Ooh, as we do force back those Oracles. Now, what I have noticed, though, is that there is no Forge. No Forge with the Twilight Council. We should be seeing additional gateways. There we go. Now they're on the way. 2 extra gates. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be Blink from Lemon. But we'll see if he goes for a different direction. Okay, no Forge and upgrades. There we go. Blink is on the way. The lack of Forge makes it look like Lemon wants to go for something like a 3-base all-in setup. We'll keep an eye on him. But basically, without any Forge, there's no upgrades, there's no longevity to Lemon's army. It's 4 gates on the way, I believe 5 in total. Sorry, 6 in total. And we'll see if we throw down 2 more gates. As Lemon is not taking extra gases. Yeah, there we go. I believe we had 1 extra gateway on the way, which means we might proxy the 8th gate. It's a 3-base all-in. It's an all-in. Lemon, he's going for the all-in. There's the probe. The probe is sent out. Going to be setting up a pylon. Going to be setting up the 8th gateway proxied in the middle of the map so we can reinforce. And just a straight-up 3-base all-in here from Lemon. Blink Stalkers is all he has. It's all he needs. Now, Lambo hasn't confirmed this yet, but Lambo is amassing Lings. Do we have a Roach Warren? Okay, we do. We have a Roach Warren. We have Roaches on the way. Very important here to get into those Roaches for some kind of backbone to the army. Queen goes down. Lings coming in first round, but the stasis goes off. A nice stasis trap here from Lemon. Meanwhile, the gateway isn't set up. Uh-oh. The gateway is not set up. Not yet. Lemon falling back. Extra wave of reinforcements. Forge is now on the way. Very late Forge here for Lemon. It looks like he might be transitioning. Yep, he's transitioning. Lemon, he doesn't believe he can kill his opponents. We have gases on the way. And +1. So Lemon, he's trying to work his way out of this. He's applying pressure, but oh no, the Lings get in! Lings, they get into the 3rd base. Shield battery goes down. Probes as well. The whole position micro is insane. 6 workers go down. 7 workers go down. And Lemon, he's in a rough position. Again, he was so committed with that first push, but he did not do enough. And now he's falling behind. As Lambo is working on +2, just now Lemon's starting up +1. Charge halfway done. Templar Archive still on the way. Lemon once again getting caught in. As Ling's coming from behind. Trying to set up a surround. Stasis was solid here from Lemon. Oh, but the Wilds connect! We dive on the army. Ravagers getting picked up. A bold move there by Lemon. He did snipe some of those Ravagers, but it cost him so many Stalkers. And again, Lemon is stuck on 3 bases. Does pop the overcharge. Is attempting to sustain himself. Bailing's on the way. Lambo has momentum. He catches out some Stalkers. 3 Stalkers going down. Ay. And yeah, there's just not enough to defend. Lings, they bust into the mineral line. 7 probes fall. Bailings are waddling in. And Lemony's being forced further and further back. Away from his own natural. GG gets called. There's just nothing left to defend. Lambo will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive stuff here out of Lambo. Lemon had some momentum. He definitely had an opportunity in this game, but unfortunately, Lemon, he got surrounded. Likewise, his all-in was a little bit lackluster. We were missing that proxy location, that gateway. We had the pylon, but we did not have a gateway to reinforce. Likewise, as a result, it took a little bit too long to actually get those additional Stalkers in. And Lambo with the surround with those Lings from behind was beautiful. And with that, GG. Lambo takes a 2-0, and that's a solid start for Shopify. Now, we still have 2 more matches ahead of us. We have Hearthstone versus Coffee and Beyond versus Strange coming up next. And this is going to be an interesting one. I want to say that Coffee is the ace player of Mystery Gaming. Coffee, he's been looking amazing as of late. We've been casting him a lot in ESL Americas and ESL Asia. Coffee did recently 2-0 Showtime. This was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Coffee 2-0 Showtime in ESL Americas, in ESL Asia. It was very impressive. Coffee has been on fire. And hey, if you can 2-0 Showtime, what can you do against Hearthstone? We're here to find out. We're jumping in. And in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have Hearthstone for Shopify Rebellion. And in the bottom right, we have a Coffee for Mystery Gaming. Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be settling in. Coffee setting his SV across the map. Interesting attack path, or interesting movement. Yeah, you can see the rally. We're going straight for the natural base. This is looking like an eBay block from Coffee. Looking to make his opponent be as uncomfortable as possible in the early game. Rax is on the way. SCV is going the long way around. The reason why is that we avoid the main scouting path and we avoid the probe. So this SCV is going to be avoiding that initial worker. Going for the natural base. You'll see Harsum dipping out, going for his own scout, which means Harsum misses the SCV, and here comes the eBay. Now, the purpose of this eBay is to delay. It's to delay this natural base for as long as possible, to maybe even force the unnatural natural as well. And the eBay is spotted. And Harsum is going to be delayed, forced to pull the boys. Yeah, probes being sent down from the main base. But the eBay has plenty of progression on it. Wait, is it it was misplayed! No, shot! I was curious! Oh, no! I mean, it kind of worked. Like, Harsum did pull the boys, to be fair. Like, he also believed it. Like, Harsum also, he was like, hold up. I mean, it must be blocking me, right? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's an unlucky moment for Kofi. At least it did deal some economic damage because it did force a reaction at a Harsum, even though it shouldn't have. He did pull some boys. But yeah, a little bit misplaced. It means that the eBay is cancelled and we are settling back in. But yeah, just an unfortunate start there for Kofi. Like, everything went well for him. You know, he avoided the worker, he got across the map unscouted. Things were looking initially good for Kofi, but we need to calm down. we need to calm things down, we need to tighten things up. Going for a follow-up proxy starport. Now with this starport, this should be for a medevac. Basically, what we're doing is that we are creating as many Hellions as possible. We should be even going for an add-on swap after this probe goes down. So we're going to be making Hellions, and ideally going for a medevac to go for a Hellion drop into the bases of Harsum. Or we could go a different direction. It could be a Hellion drop, or because we're not reacting at Hellions, it could be a Liberator. We could go Hellions from one end and Liberator from the other. We'll see how we embrace this proxy. Okay, starport. I mean, sorry, medevac. So it is going to be the drop. So Hellion drop towards the mineral line. For the time being, Harsum able to chip away at those Hellions. Ooh, does get eyes on them. Will attempt to chase them down. Will attempt. And Harsum is going to be that much more on notice here. Now, when it comes to Hellion harass, it takes 3 Hellion shots to kill a worker. So 3 Hellions will one-shot a probe. And because Hellions do splash damage, they can annihilate a mineral line quite quickly. The scary thing here, though, is that it's only 3 Hellions. Usually you get 4. Like, if one of these Hellions goes down, then we remove one-shot potential. Here we go. We bust into the mineral line. 2 probes go down so far. We get 3. We bust into the main. We do drop in, but the Hellions are so low. Yeah, one of them goes down. Now we have to 2 shots. 5 worker kills, 6 probe kills. That's okay. 6 probes for 3 Hellions. It's okay. I'm sure we were hoping for more, but it's an okay amount of damage. Behind this, Coffee's expanding, taking his natural, getting into his 2-1-1 setup. He's getting into our setup here. I'm just catching up in chat. Adept Oracle, why are these 2 units paired often together? It is mainly because of the harassment potential with the Adept and Oracle. I mean, there's a lot that comes into play. It isn't just about the harassment potential, but also the defensive potential as well. They can keep up and shave off Lings and defend your 3rd base against Ling harass as well. we've seen time and time again, if you open up Stalker, Stalkers can struggle in that role just because Stalkers have a lower attack rate and have increased surface area, so Lings can just shut them down in early games EVP. So Adepts, they do well against not just harassing, but also defending against Ling aggression. Like, they're a solid unit early on. Likewise, Oracles are ideal for scouting and harassing as well, and also clearing up Lings. Like, they work just really well together in the early game. Against all things Zerg early on. But for now, we're settling into our TVP. See Coffee building up towards his 3 tanks, moving out across the map. Stim is not quite done. Nowhere near. Really, the Marines are here only to escort those tanks, to ferry them across the map. And this initial tank push has a lot of potential. We could threaten the 3rd base, but Harsam does spot it ahead of time. He's slowing it down. It's a couple of shots in on that medevac. Liberator into the main. We're running out of Lings. Sorry, we're running out of Marines. And Marines are being shaved off. Tanks are sieging up. We get a couple of volleys off, but we're still not within range of the Nexus. A lot of Marines do get picked off there. But we do get into the main, and that's 5 probe kills. And 1 tank is within range. There we go, the other now leapfrogging forward. Stalkers are distracted. And we get a kill. We're getting a kill on the Nexus. This is all we wanted. Overcharge is popped. Can we save it? Big volleys. Oh my god. Colossus taking a lot of damage. And the Nexus, can we save it? It's so close. Stalkers are coming in. We have a 4th tank. Oh, this is not a fight to take. Harsam in trouble. Bleeding out too many Stalkers. Massive volleys went off. Stalkers went down. The base will fall, and we're not done. Because Harsam just lost, I think that was like 4 or 5 Stalkers going down. His army, it's non-existent. We can keep pushing. This was ideally just meant to get the 3rd, but now we can get even more than that. We can keep pushing forward. Yeah, production under fire. We depower the gateway, going for the Cybercore. Cybercore is going to go down. Yeah, there is no saving it. Things just going from bad to worse here for Harsam. He's now up to 2 Colossus. But now the tank's within range of the natural. Big volleys going off of the Colossus. Overcharge is popped. But again, these tank volleys are insane. The concave is too good. 1 tank did fall, but we still have 3 more behind this. And also back at home, Coffee has a 3rd. He has a 3rd CC. Soon to be landed. Stim is now done. We got +1, additional Marines. Marauders now rallying across the map. We catch the Observer. Gateway falls. And Harsam in a world of hurt. +1 is about to finish in 10 seconds, but same can be said for Coffee, as he just finished up +1 as well. Scans, but he doesn't have any anti-air. Oh. Bit of an overextension there from Coffee. Does overextend. Does not get the Observer. So a bit of a wasted scan. And now is the time to back off. I do appreciate this really mature decision by Coffee. He's achieved so much with this push. And remember, he's not all in. Coffee, he's ahead in workers, he's ahead in economy. He's up in bases. All we have to do is back off, defend, macro up. There's no reason to risk it. Oh, hello, Mr. SCV. That's weird. Rallying an SCV across the map. Don't think that was intentional. Oh, but does actually scout, never mind. Scouts checks the 4th base location. Making sure that Harsam is indeed on 2 bases. Just now re-expanding. And Coffee is settling into additional tanks, into Vikings, concussive shell, combat shields. Coffee is in a comfortable position, and as long as nothing goes awry, Coffee can seal the deal here. Really, the pressure's on Harsam. And I like this. Dark Shrine. When behind Dark Shrine. When behind Disruptors, right? Like, we have some comeback options here. Disruptors, if we can get 1 or 2 really juicy Novas, we can take a fight. Likewise, DTs can harass and eviscerate a mineral line. Both the Disruptor and the DT are a really nice way to catch up, even when you're down in supply. But they also need to get damage done. Again, the onus is on Hearthstone. Zelrama gets found out. Coffee does spot it. Oh, and Coffee not giving Hearthstone any time. Disruptor on the high ground. Lying in wait. Coffee rotating over towards the left. Drop towards the natural. We have Blink Stalkers in position. Yeah, the Stalker should clean this up. At the same time, Coffee pushing right through the middle. Did we get the Disruptor? I think a Nova may have gone off there. Sieging up outside the natural. Going for the gas geysers. I believe the Robo should be safe. Have that one Disruptor. We do snipe some gas. Do threaten the Robo with these Marines. Do get some hull damage. Not too bad. And oh, can we get it? No, we cannot. Overcharge is popped. Marines get shut down. Do get eyes on the Observer. As Coffee continues to rally. Hearthstone expanding elsewhere on the right-hand side. That's farewell, as now the DTs are coming into play. We have one DT for each base. They're fanning out. Headed for the natural. No turret in position. Hearthstone does slip in. At the same time, his main army pushing right down mid. He is caught out. Hearthstone does have to retreat, but DTs do reveal themselves. 5. 6 SCVs going down. Scan does reveal one of them, but we have another in the main. So, not a bad pickoff, but the Liberators, they get across the map. And as much as the DTs did, the Liberators, they do even more. 5 SCVs for 6 probes. And Hearthstone can't afford these losses. His army is spotted. Coffee keeping up. Now it's not just Vikings and Marauders, now we have Ghosts. We have EMPs available. So do push forward. We run into the main army. We bleed out a Ghost. Coffee overextending. And pushing up this ramp into Disruptors is not going to happen. Yeah, that's 4 Disruptors with Hearthstone's main army. And again, 2 good Novas can make or break a fight. Nova's going off. Oh, not quite connecting. Ooh, big connection. Oh my god. Yeah, massive shot goes off. That's what we were looking for. We need one more. Hearthstone rotating around. Vikings going ham. Colossus getting very low. Nova up. Ooh, once again, decent connection. Catching some Marauders. Let's catch a couple of Marauders here. And Coffee having a hard time pushing it at the same time. DT across the map. Nothing to defend. SCVs are going down. And we get 8 SCV kills. Oh, did I say 8? 11 SCVs. Nova's once again connecting. And Hearthstone is clawing his way back into this. Zellstream Havoc across the map. 19 SCVs going down. Coffee, he's now completely all in. He didn't want to be, didn't have to be. The Novas don't connect. Oh my god, clutch target firing there out of Coffee. Does focus out most of those Disruptors. And again, Coffee needs to end the game with this army. But he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. Barely an economy back at home. Again, when behind Dark Shrine, Papi. Let's go. 32 SVs going down. Coffee's turning back home. And we're down to 37 workers. Ay, ay, ay. Again, Coffee had such a strong start in this game. And to be fair, it wasn't just those DTs, but also the Disruptors as well. We had some massive Novas to start off the fight. Now, Coffee still has a comparable army. He did snipe a lot of Disruptors earlier. He still has potential. He can still pull this off. see their 39 workers going down. I want to see the army of Hearthstone. Oh my god. Massive connection. GG gets called with that final purification over, and Hearthstone brings it back with the comeback here and takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG. Well played. Very well done here by Hearthstone. Again, despite having a deficit, did recognize how he could return in this game, and there was a lot of pressure on him. There was a lot of pressure to get economic damage done with the DTs, to connect with those disruptors, to retain them, to be able to keep them safe and sound, and he did pull it off in the end. Very well done here by Hearthstone. A shout out to CranKy. Again, CranKy was looking quite powerful in this game, but again, did overextend and maybe did tunnel vision a little bit too much there, committing to a push that he didn't necessarily need to, and he had nothing at home to defend, and things just went awry far too quickly there. Again, if CranKy was a little bit more cool, calm, and collected, then may have seen a different game, but Hearthstone takes the lead. And now suddenly, Shopify are 1 game away from winning the entire series. Onomas is all we need, and here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have Hearthstone for Shopify Rebellion. And in the top left, we have CranKy for Mystery Gaming. Let's go. Let us go. Disgusting, no. Let's go. I mean, again, that is a good way to come back from a difficult position. Not just that, but it isn't just that disruptors can be hyper efficient, but also it's difficult pushing into disruptors. Like, stimming forward into Novas is a terrifying thought, as I'm sure many Terran players are aware. So again, it can be a really great defensive unit there, especially if your opponent is forced into an all-in, which CranKy was due to those DTs. Like, he lost too many SCVs across the map to the DT harasser, the Zealot run by, was forced all in. So a solid setup there from Hearthstone. And with that, we're getting into game 2. We are getting in. How all my TVPs end. Ah, Smurge. Smurge, papi, Smurge. Feels bad, man. They're too real. No. For now, we're selling in. It's going to be a gate expand out of Hearthstone. Meanwhile, CranKy going for his own double gas opener. Double gas into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. We already went for a Hellion drop in the previous game, so I don't expect anything quite like that this game. Likewise, this time there is no eBay block at the natural. Hearthstone able to expand freely. We are settling in. Are going to be settling in here. Now, we are leading into Ghost River, and it is CranKy we're talking about, so the potential for a 1-base all-in is there. So we're keeping our eye on CranKy. Probe is going to be shut down with a GG spray. Do you manage to get the last spray in before falling? And there it is. Command center is thrown down, so CranKy is just going for a Rax into factory into CC. Not a 1-base all-in, and Hearthstone is opting to go for a Twilight Council opener. Should be, once again, Blink Stalkers. Blink should be on the horizon here. Workers dying to DTs, army dying to Disruptor / Colossus / Storm. The classic TVP experience. Let's go, let's go. In the absence of Asher, we need the Terran apologist in the chat. We need him. Esther Jado. Why are you pretending that you're not playing mech in TVP? Why are you Esther Jado. Shaking my head. Much love, much love. Dan CranKy is going to be expanding, getting into his 3-rack setup. Getting into our 3-racks as we do apply some pressure with these Hellions and Reapers. Our goal here is to bust into a mineral line, but so far SimCity looking quite good. First step goes down, we have a Stalker to hold the line. Voids are being pulled, and we are going to be pulling into Hellion Fire. Oh! Do you manage to avoid it? Second Stalker has arrived. So far only getting 2 probes, and we do misclick for a moment clicking on the Nexus. But probes are going down. 5 worker kills. Pretty successful push here from Coffee. Very successful. 2 Reapers and a Hellion for 5 probes. Could have been worse. Definitely. Could have been so much worse. But we'll take it. We will take it. As behind this, Coffee settling into his fire tank. Natural base being taken as well. If I played Mech and TV, I'd be rolling even harder. Oh no. I didn't think it'd be possible, Jadolf. Didn't think so. The smudge would be too much. Jadolf, you just need to learn from Colossi, Bob. You just need to learn. That's all you need to do. Shoot into Colossal Gulp Stream. Aye. As Coffee back at home settling into not just his tank production, but into stim, into combat shields. Likewise, interesting. Harsum did open Blink, but is going to be delaying his third base. Harsum delaying his third, going into a faster bay, into faster Colossus production. So this is a safer style out of Harsum. Not as economic, just making sure he's able to muster up an army ahead of time. So 2-gate Blink into Colossus, into a delayed third base. As Reaper does slip in, and I believe Coffee sees everything. He does confirm the bay timing. Ooh, Harsum taking some big tank shots there. Has to calm down, has to pull back. Harsum just banking up his minerals, looking to expand. Coffee is breaking out. And this is a big timing for Coffee. The boys are being pulled. Remember, Harsum opened up 2-gate Blink into a bay. The first Colossus, the first Disruptor is on the way, but we need time. Harsum needs to buy some time, does shave off some of those SCVs. The War on Ghost River doesn't take too long to get across the map. This Coffee is completely all in. A lot of SCVs are bleeding off. But the tanks, they're getting across the map, they're looking to get within range. The Robo's on the low ground. And can we get on top of the Robo? The Disruptor does spawn in. We have the one Disruptor. Tank's a little bit too far back. Shield battery under fire. Nova goes up. Up. Does connect. It connects with the first tank. First tank goes down. But we're going for the Robo. We're going for the army. Oh. Pulling back for a moment. And the Robo does fall. Only one Disruptor for Harsum. That's all we have. Stalkers pushing forward. Tanks are sieging up. Never goes up. Oh, does connect with the tank. The tank barely survives, but we're running out of bio. And we're running out of support. The tank on its own is not good enough, but Marauders, they come in just in time. Solo tank bullies here. Another tank has arrived. We pulled extra boys. They're here to support. They're here to repair. We still have the one Disruptor to hold the line. Just one. Up. Connects with the tank, but we can repair. Again, it takes 2 shots to kill a tank. One Nova is not good enough. Another tank has arrived. We're still rallying everything across the map. Harsum up against the wall. And can we go for the kill? We have a Dark Shrine on the way. I mean, that's a good way to deal with this. Remember, only 2 CCs, limited scans. Very limited scans here. But the Dark Shrine is still a ways off. And Natural Base is under fire. The Natural should go down. Charge still halfway done as well. And the Natural falls. Coffee trying to shut down those workers. Yeah, with our wall of bunkers, we have contained Harsum. Gonna try to break out. Never goes up. Up. Catching one Marauder. But we're running out of room. We're running out of steam. GG gets called as Harsum. He gets backed against the wall. And Coffee takes game number 2. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Coffee is the ace player of Mystery Gaming. Does fight back for himself. Does fight back for his team. This could have been a 2-0. Not gonna lie, like, game 1 was in favor of Coffee initially, but Harsum had an insane comeback. And that means that the pressure is even more on Strange. Up next is Beyond versus Strange. Strange needs to 2-0 to force the ace match. And oh god, I'm dying a little bit, but I want to believe I want to believe that Strange can take a map, but 2 maps? That's a tough one, Papi. That's a tough one. Beyond needs 1 game to win it all. Strange needs a 2-0 for that ace match. I would love to see an ace match, but again, the pressure is on. The pressure is on. Again, a shout out to Kofi, of course, for fighting back for his team, for giving Mystery Gaming a shot here. And we're getting ready for that final best of 2. Let's go. Kofi has some sick all-ins. He does. He does. I mean, hey, that's how he shut down Showtime. I mean, if you saw that that best of 3 between Kofi and Showtime, when he 2-0'd Showtime, it was all-ins. It was just 2 base all-ins. Non-stop 2 base all-ins, and he did break the wall, Demauer, that is Showtime. He did break Hearthstone as well. But again, not in the manner he was hoping. And now we have our 2 players. Oh, now we are diving into our game. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Björn for Shopify Rebellion. And in the top left, we have Strange for Mystery Gaming. Can you snipe disruptor shots? In a way you can. If you kill the disruptor before the Nova goes off, or if you disable the disruptor, then or if you lift the disruptor, like there are ways to disable the shot. That is true, but it's quite difficult to pull off. I've been watching a fair bit of Colossi lately. Oh, let's go. Is the disruptor shot faster than Stim Marines? There's a lot that factors into that. Like if a Nova goes off and if a Bio Army stims on you, then you can kill the disruptor, but it like that depends on how many Marines you have, right? Like if you have enough Marines, sure you can DPS it down. If not, like if you miscalculate, like we've seen that before as we get the eBay block. Oh, the eBay block this time on location, forcing the boys to be pulled. The base is going to be delayed. But we've seen that before, where we've seen moments, even with Björn, for example. Like, Björn is known for sniping, but with Björn, with Clem, with some of these top-tier Terran players, sometimes they misjudge, they stim, they dive, they focus on the disruptor, and they don't get it in time. And the Nova connects, right? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's a risk you take. It is a risk you take. But, yo, when it works, it looks beautiful. I mean, we saw that from Kofi earlier, right? When Kofi dove in game 1, when Kofi dove on Hearthstone, he focused down, I think it was 4 disruptors without any Nova going off. Did catch 4 disruptors. I was on Oceanborn, if you remember. It wasn't enough to end the game, but was impressive. Oh, right. You're talking like speed-wise about escaping. I see. That I'm not too so sure about. Sorry, I thought you were talking about like diving on a disruptor, not running away. But for the time being, Björn is opening up. Ooh, actually playing just like Kofi. It's eBay block into Hellion drop. Let's go. This is a similar build to what Kofi did against Hearthstone in game 1. Very similar build. I say similar because the difference is that Björn is reacting out Hellions. So he's making 2 Hellions at a time, which means he will have 4 Hellions instead of 3. And these 4 Hellions, again, there's a little bit of DPS to spare to one-shot probes in the main. Yeah, the drop is getting set up. We're headed for the main base. Meanwhile, Strange did open Stargate. Very common to go Stargate on Amphion, just because Blink Stalker play is not as impactful, thanks to the terrain. Terrain works against the Protoss player. And the Hellions, they drop in! Well, they bust into the main base. Phoenixes have to be pulled. They have to be pulled back around in position. Oh, probes are lighting up! Not like this. Probes do line up. 9 workers go down. 3 Hellions do escape. We head to the natural base. And once again, we're not done. We're getting even more damage dealt. 10. Soon to be up. Soon to be even more. 1 more volley. 11. 11 probes go down and 2 Hellions do escape. Very well worth it here for Bjorn. 2 Hellions for 11 probes. Still even 1 Hellion left in the main base as well. Finally gets shut down. And behind this, a Bjorn just settling in. Working towards his 2 base saturation. Viking production back at home as well. Again, getting into Viking Cyclone. Oh, never mind. Second medevac. Interesting. But a Cyclone production is necessary, again, because Bjorn is now aware of the Phoenixes, he has to defend against them, needs as much anti-air as possible, but is opting to forego Vikings. We go. As it looks like we are setting up for another job here. Bjorn keeping the aggression on. He's got his Biocycle force towards the right, another force towards the left. Liberator on the way. Meanwhile, Strange, he is entering the beginnings of Phoenix Colossus. Oh, let's go! What Terran players love. Phoenixes for air control, Colossus for ground control. The best of both worlds. We're getting there. But Strange is still struggling to catch back up. Again, losing all those workers early on did take its toll. So Strange's third base is delayed. Bjorn actually getting a faster third than the Protoss, which is a terrifying thought. Usually the Protoss player needs to be upper base compared to the Terran. The opposite is, again, terrifying and a rough thing here for the Protoss. Just trying to catch up. Bjorn rotating around. Gets eyes on the third, looking to force a cancel. And can Strange even deny this? He can't. Yeah, the base is cancelled. We're contained to 2 bases. Shield batteries on the way. And we barely have an army. Where are the Phoenixes? Yeah, they're racing back. The Phoenixes, they were busy patrolling in the main. Overcharge is popped. And Bjorn doesn't have to push in. That's the thing. Bjorn, all he has to do is contain. Like, he's already ahead. He just has to contain his opponents. He's already upper base. Ooh, gets that probe towards the end. And now Bjorn can just settle in and working on stim, combat shields, tank production. These Phoenixes have a lot of work to do. And they do catch a couple of workers. It's okay. Again, right now there's so much pressure on Strange to find some workers with these Phoenixes. Maybe catch a drop. Catch a medevac, a Viking, anything. Okay, this could work. As Strange, what does he do? 2 more Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. We are looking to rush into Skytoss, and I like this just because, I mean, Strange is fully aware that he's behind, and we have to do something drastic. So what do? You can go for an all-in, you can go for hyper-aggression, or you can be greedy. There are different ways to be greedy. One is like double expand, right? Take a 3rd and a 4th base, or you can be greedy tech-wise. Now, what does this mean? This means if Bjorn pushes out anytime soon, Strange will most likely just fall over and die. like Strange, he's investing quite heavily here into Stargates, into a Forge, into +1 air attack, into a Fleet Beacon. A lot of money here in tech and production. And if Bjorn builds up on 3 bases and moves out, then Strange is going to be in trouble. If Bjorn is passive, if Bjorn is defensive, then Strange can get away with this. So it is a risky maneuver. We'll see if it pays off. We shall see. As carriers are on the way. The Observer's in position to scout any kind of move out, so Strange, he knows that for the time being he's safe and sound. For the time being, it is safe. So here we go, the Bio Army does push. Strange does spot this, and he has to slow this down as best he can. Carriers are still on the way. We spoke about this, how vulnerable Strange is. He needs time, Bobby. He needs Oliveira. Oh, Bjorn going for a split push, actually. Okay, going for a triple drop towards the left. Main army towards the right. There are carriers amassing in the main base. Never mind, they move out. I was gonna say, the ideal situation here is to somehow catch these medevacs, and it looks like we do catch them. Phoenixes are on the chase. We do not boost in. The drop is denied. So far, so good. Tanks are in position, and the carriers are revealed. Beyond now aware of what's going on. Pulling back for the timing. Again, he's lacking anti-air. And we need Vikings. We need Vikings, we need Marines. Then we go 3 more Raxes on the way. Strange. He's holding. Strange is holding. He's surviving, man. Getting into 2-2. Ghost production. Rocks are being knocked down to open up these attack paths for the ground army. And we have hit triple carrier. We have 3 more on the way. Soon to be 6. You can see Beyond throwing down a second starport for the Mass Viking. Is attempting to outposition his opponents. Does reinforce with more Marines. Okay, we have to take things a little bit slow here. Tanks within range of the Nexus. Shield batteries go down. Rear order stimming on forward. We have to bait the army into tank fire. We stim on forward. We focus down the Phoenixes. The Phoenixes go down. The Colossus thereafter. And there's only carriers left. And against Mass Marine, carriers, they cannot keep up with this. The interceptors are going down one after the other. We're running out of interceptors. We are running out, and Bjorn has done it. GG gets called. Bjorn takes game number 1. GG. Again, Strange just needed a little bit more time to get additional carriers, to get into his upgrades, to even get into additional Colossus or support on the ground. It was a risky maneuver, but Bjorn does punish it. GG, well played. Again, Bjorn had a very strong start to game 1, where he was able to just cripple the economy, contain Strange on 2 bases. Strange had to take a chance, he had to take a risk, went for the Skytoss rush, the carrier rush, and again, it's something that can work quite well if only we had a little bit more time there. But Bjorn, as soon as he realized what was going on, he just reinforced and pushed in. He went straight for the kill. Very nicely done. Very methodical engagement there out of Bjorn. Again, trying to bait out the Phoenixes. Once the Phoenixes went down, he baited out the Colossus. Was able to pull them within range of the tanks. And then he was able to go to town on those interceptors. And now we're getting into game 2. And, oh, I did miss it, but of course this means Shopify take the series. Shopify do take the series. Bjorn only needed 1 game and he got it. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have Bjorn for Shopify. And in the top left, we have Strange for Mystery Gaming. As a reminder, all matches are played, so even though Shopify do win this, it's first of 4. In a best of 7, 4 wins do win you the series. So Shopify will take it, but all the matches are played because individual ranking is kept track of, and individual map score is important in the group stage to determine who makes it into the playoffs. So these games do still have value. Likewise, if Strange takes a map, then you do earn extra money based on how many map wins you get. So it's still money on the line as well. So there is still value here in the second game. And we'll see if Strange can bounce back. For the time being, going to be an economic opener out of Beyond this time. Looks like a Rax into Command Center, as Bjorn has only taken 1 gas. So a more economic opener here out of Bjorn. Meanwhile, Strange going for the Gate Expand. Interesting. Bit of a greedier opener here out of Strange, as we often see Gate Cyber Expands instead. So slightly greedier here by Strange. Here we go. We are going to be settling in factory and production here for Bjorn. We saw last game that Bjorn was able to make use of the eBay block into a Hellion drop, but I don't expect us to fall back into that again in the series. It's more of a one and done sort of thing. Oh, So we are opening up Stalker. Okay. No Adept to harass across the map. Stalker on the way. Safety shield battery here at the natural as well. Really interesting setup here from Strange. The safety shield battery. Oh, right. I believe we skipped the probe scouts. If I'm not mistaken. So there was no probe scout. No Adept moving out either. Strange being greedy and in the dark and going for his Twilight Council. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have Beyond opening up 1-1-1. He's opening up with his 1-1-1. Not going for a reactored Hellion. Just singular Hellion to move out to get some scouting information. Likewise, Strange skipped his Worker Scout and Beyond skipped his Reaper Scout. So both players are actually in the dark and not really aware of what their opponent's up to. Not yet. Blink is now on the way. Beyond relying on his Hellions. Does fan out across the map. And Strange follows this up with 2 additional gateways. So I believe that's going to be 3-gate Blink from Strange. For now, it's 3-gate Blink. With 3-gate Blink Stalkers, you can gain map control. You can be quite assertive across the map as well. Can apply quite a bit of pressure. As Beyond follows this up with the medevac first. The drop is spotted. Adept does get eyes on the medevac. Meanwhile, we shade into the mineral line. Oh, not quite getting an SCV. Good control here out of Beyond. Yeah, saves the worker, shuts down the Adept, and can now focus on his push. Focus on his drop. Now, Strange did spot it ahead of time. And he's ready in the main base. He's lying in wait. Can shoo away those Marines. Can try to. Beyond going for the pylon. Oh, can he get it? The pylon. It's so close, and it does go down. Denies. Oh my god, it depowers everything. Massive delay on Blink. Denies the warp in. And supply block Strange. Ay, ay, ay. Very nice pick up there by Beyond. And now we rotate around, going for our Hellion drop. We spoke about it earlier. 3 Hellions do one-shot probes, but we're in position. Beyond does what. Sorry, Strange does what this away. Beyond pulling back. Once again, Strange going for a Bay before 3rd base. I say once again, that was what Harsum did against Coffee. But we do delay our 3rd. Meanwhile, Beyond throwing down additional Raxes. Getting into his 3-1-1. Hellion drop is still active. We have Hellions on one end. We have Harass on the other. Raven on the other, right? So we'll see if Strange can keep up. As Beyond is slipping in. And Strange had nothing to scout. Yeah, he doesn't have vision of his main base. Doesn't spot this. Hellions, they dive into the main. They dive into the mineral line. 2 probe kills. Beyond pushing right through the center. His goal here is to deny the 3rd. Hellions are cleaned up. So we make our way over. At the same time, here comes the Raven. Raven towards the natural. Tanks here. They siege up within range. Bunkers are on the way. And all we need to do is deny the Nexus. Can we deny the base? Stalkers are amassing. Colossus has arrived. We're diving in. And that's target firing. We get 1. We get both tanks. And we clean up all the bio. The Colossus will survive. The bunker barely doesn't finish. And this is a nice cleanup. You can see Beyond shaking his head on cams. Strange. He doesn't just save his base. He shuts down the army. Whew. And now Strange has momentum. Momentum is on Strange's side. He's got his 3rd base, he's got his Colossus, he lost a handful of Stalkers. Yeah, not happy about that. Now working on a 3rd CC. As Strange has a 4th on the way. Can we bounce back, Papi? Let's go. Can we pull this off? Beyond does have a timing available. He's got Stim, Combat Shields +1, all on the horizon. Getting into Viking production as well. Ooh, Raven gets caught out. We don't get the Observer. We get a Sentry. But it's a worthwhile trade for Strange. Trading a sentry for a Raven. So once again, a good pick off here from our Protoss player. And this Beyond trying to play catch up, trying to expand. And long distance mining. And you can see that the supplies are currently neck and neck, but that's soon about to change. We have a gateway explosion on the way from Strange. Once all these gateways kick in, once the 4th base kicks in, then Strange can skyrocket ahead. Not just with Chargelets, but also with Archons. Potentially Storm, so we have that Templar Archives. The Colossus on the way. And we'll see if Beyond can weather that storm. As especially after losing that army, Beyond is going to be stuck at home. Like, I feel like a move out is going to be a bit ill-advised. We can go for drop play, but... And Beyond, he's stuck at home. Turrets are being thrown down. Depots as well for SimCity. Stu being chronoed. As we're just pointing out the timing of that armory, but Strange is soon about to be out. We're just waiting for the War Prism. War Prism's on the way, and then Strange can push. Even getting a 5th? Calm down. I don't think we need the 5th right now, but sure. A scouting pylon. Okay. Just right now, pylons and scouts. Strange should soon be pushing. I mean, it does have eyes on the defensive setup, and you could argue that Strange could just take an expansion and tech from here and wait for Beyond to move out. Nah, we're pushing. Nah, we're not here to be patient. We are moving out instead. Strange does have the supply lead. And the Prism has arrived to reinforce. Massive warping, 11 zealots at a time. Strange is maxed out. Observer goes down. The SimCity is still brutal. It's going to be difficult to push into this. Tank's in a very nice position. Strange has to take it slow. There we go. We dive on forward. The tank's going to be going down. We're getting on top of them. Yeah, zealots from the right-hand side. Tanks are falling left and right. And Strange, it looks like he may have just done it. Colossus are in the back line. Not really adding too much DPS, but SCVs are falling. SCVs are falling left and right. One Colossus goes down. There's one tank left, but GG gets called. There's just too much to handle, and Strange fights back, putting a point on the board. GG. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, Beyond had a brutal moment in this game. If you remember, when Beyond moved out towards the 3rd base with his 2 tanks, with his mass bio, he lost everything and it wasn't worth it. It was a risky move out, wasn't worth it in the end. Strange was all over Beyond, able to shut down the bio, able to shut down the tanks, and from that moment, Strange was in control of the game. He was in control of the game, he was able to get his 4th, saturate his bases, max out as well. He was looking so comfortable in the aftermath of that failed push of Beyond. And with that, Strange takes a game. Not enough to take the series, unfortunately, but is enough to take a game and is enough to redeem himself as well. Again, Beyond is not an easy opponent, so very nicely done. GG, well played here to Strange, and with that, congratulations to Shopify, as Shopify did still win the series. Congratulations to Hearthstone, Lambo, and Beyond for winning it in the end. And honestly, they did need that win as well. Did need that win. Again, Shopify have been struggling a little bit more here in this season of WTL. Let me just double check though the standings. Let me double check those standings. One moment here. I say struggling, never mind. Top 4, not bad. Shopify, they're in the top 4. They're in the upper echelons of the league, just over Basilisk. Mystery Gaming are at number 6. Still not bad. Again, Mystery Gaming, they're no slouches whatsoever. They've taken down some big names already in this team league, and they even did pose a threat to Shopify as well. Like, imagine if Coffee 2-0'd, right? Like, imagine if Coffee had taken the 2-0. Suddenly we get the ace match, and suddenly do we get like a TVT between Byun and Coffee? I don't know. Like, then what happens then? So, yeah, really solid performances so far this season from Mystery Gaming. Again, they're still in the top half of the league. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up for tonight's broadcast. Again, just 2 series here tonight. Just catching up with day 2 of round 5. And round 6 is going to be in a couple of days. For those that are curious, round 6 is going to be, let me just double check, over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, there is going to be a break in between week 6 and week 7 because of Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup is on the 21st. Home Story Cup is in 2 weeks' time, or less than 2 weeks' time. It's next week. It's next week over the weekend. So, definitely do look forward to that. Home Story Cup, I'm sure, is going to be a blast. Likewise, the weekend before Home Story Cup, this weekend is the NA Home Story Cup. It's SE2 Safe House this weekend, and we are going to be a part of it. We're going to be the B stream for day 1. Again, it's day 1 is going to be a group stage, so we will be a part of that. Day 2 is going to be the playoffs, and again, you know, they've got the main stream for that. But we are going to help out. So we're going to be a part of the initial B stream. So yeah, consider checking us out. Consider following the channel if you're interested in events like World Team League, SE2 Safe House, Sparkling Tuna Cup, KSL, Kung Fu Cup, and many other events. Plenty of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. Plenty of StarCraft, Fappy. Likewise, our next broadcast is going to be in just under 24 hours. In just under 24 hours, tomorrow we're going to be live with some KFC action. What do I mean by that? Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup, it is an event that is partnered or is coinciding with World Team League. It gives you WTL points, and it brings together the best of the best in the world. Players like MaxFax, Clem, Rainer, Showtime up against your Dark, Hero, Byun, Solar, and then some. Again, the best players from all around all come together for Kung Fu Cup. So do look forward to it. Do look forward to it. It's going to be an amazing event tomorrow. Tomorrow, again, in 23 hours' time. 23 hours' time. So mark your calendars. Set your alarms. We'll be there. We will be there. Embrace the torso power. Oh. This weekend. This weekend, Papi. Byun underestimated him because his harass was easy. I would say that that push was maybe a little bit over eager, or maybe some overconfidence from Byun in that move out. Definitely possible. Definitely. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Again, we're gonna be back tomorrow with Kung Fu Cup, and of course over the weekend with World Team League as well. Otherwise, we're going to be heading off. We're going to be heading off for the night. We will be raiding another StarCraft streamer. I'm not too sure who's live at the moment, but we'll find someone. What's going on right now? Oh, Nero's doing like a 24-hour stream. I think he's asleep right now. Lovely. I see Eba is live. Let's go. Might send everyone over to Eba. Eba, he is an ex-Zerg player. Now he's a Protoss enjoyer. Unfortunately. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But Eba is streaming, and I don't recognize many other people live at the moment. So, yeah, give Eba a chance. Again, he's from the land of the UK. He's a great guy, great player. A lot of potential as a player as well. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Live? See. Yes. I am live right now. But we're heading off. We're heading off, Papi. We're heading off. Thanks for the content. You're welcome, Papi. You're welcome. You are welcome. But yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm going to go get some food. I'm starving. I'm going to go get some food. Take care, everyone. Hasta luego. Until next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Until next time.